Only 7 games into the season, and the new faces have made their mark on Cardinal Nation. The first home run, the first RBI, the first save, and the familiar faces have added a mark or two of their own. Great defense, strong pitching, and without a doubt, a surprise or two. Surprise, I'm stealing home. What will we see tonight? Sit back and relax. The Cards are next on Fox Sports Net. A look at Jason Isringhausen, his final pitch, their final swing and miss, in the final of 6-5. The Cardinals won it. Isringhausen got his first save, and the Cardinals 1-0 on this 6-game homestand with 5 to go, including tonight. The Milwaukee Brewers are back. For some reason, they want more. They came back to the ballpark for a date with the Cardinals tonight, and it's yours on Fox Sports Net. And welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck along with Al Raboski, and I know that all of you former closers were smiling a bit when you saw Jason Isringhausen come in and do what we just saw, just blow Milwaukee right on away.
Yeah, and I just saw Todd Worrell downstairs, so he must have appreciated it. That's right. That anytime you have a chance to strike out the last guy, you know, he just puts a little feather on the cap. But when you strike out the side and get your first save in St. Louis, that's even more special.
Andy Bennis is on the mound tonight. What will we see from the veteran Cardinal right-hander? Maybe a little different pitcher than he was early in his career. Here's Andy.
I don't throw as hard, but I don't really feel like I have to throw hard. I think that's kind of overrated. If you locate the ball, Greg Maddux doesn't throw very hard either, but they never talk about that. They talk about how well he locates. So I feel like I can go out and locate all my pitches and change speeds, and so I feel like I can go out and have a really nice year. I expect that.
I think you look at what he did getting ready for the spring season, the way he pitched down in Florida. First time out was not too good, but maybe like Garrett Stevenson last night, he can rebound for this second start.
Yeah, sometimes you work so hard to win a job in spring training, you have a tendency to relax a little bit. Really what happened to Andy in his first start is he elevated a couple breaking pitches. They were hit out of the ballpark, but I think he'll be better tonight.
How about the hot bats? We have seen some familiar faces get hot. And when you start that list, let's start with the Rookie of the Year.
Well, he had an amazing season, and he just continues it. But this is the guy that we're so pleased with, Renteria. Edmonds, another guy that you just come to expect.
How about this guy?
Oh, he's only made 4 outs of the year. Well, you know, he's had 15 at bats, so he has been red hot, and you couldn't be happier for Renteria and Eli Marrero. This is really a good ball club, and they're all having fun.
Eli is hitting .733. Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. Jason Isringhausen got the save last night. Will he be on call tonight? You bet.
Welcome back to Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net. Just after this break, we'll have the first pitch, and we get a chance to visit with the closer of the St. Louis Cardinals, Jason Isringhausen. The first save last night. What were your feelings after that? I'm sure a sense of relief and excitement, too.
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited after that. I wasn't expecting that kind of situation, but you know, I went in there and made some good pitches and was able to get out of it.
What's it been like for you coming here to St. Louis and obviously being a guy from this area and growing up watching the Cardinals? Has this first week been everything that you pretty much expected?
Yeah, I mean, it all started with opening day. I mean, it's pretty overwhelming, and, you know, the fans here are unbelievable. I mean, I knew they were pretty good, but I never expected this. So it's been a pleasant surprise, but I also knew somewhat what to expect.
Is there more pressure being a guy from this area playing for the Cardinals, you think?
No, not really. I think there's just as much pressure on everybody. I mean, just the area expects to win, you know, and that's what's great about it. But, I mean, in the same sense, they understand the game, too. So, I mean, if you do mess up, they're not going to, you know, crucify you either.
The situation last night, you came in, you had a man on, but in Oakland, more times than not, you would start a ninth, right?
Yeah, more times than not. But, you know, we'll see what happens around here. I mean, I don't know what to expect yet. I mean, if it's going to be like that all year, it's going to be a little hectic. But, you know, more times than not, I mean, if Steve does come in before me, there won't be a guy on second base. So, but, I mean, as long as I can work with him, it'll be great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
That's Jason Isringhausen. He is the closer of the St. Louis Cardinals. And coming up, it's Cardinal Baseball right after this time out on Fox Sports Net.
Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Budweiser. With a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer, this Bud's for you. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. A look at that Cardinal bench. Matheny is on that bench tonight. DeFelice is doing the catching. Davey Lopes in his lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They lead it off with Ronnie Belliard. He's first up. Then it'll be Jeffrey Hammonds, Jeff Jenkins. We highlight Big Richie Sexson. Alex Ochoa is in right. Tyler Houston at third. Jose Hernandez, Paul Bacco the catcher, and Glendon Rush makes the start. Jamie Wright was scratched yesterday for Game 2. Our Chrysler Jeep starter, Andy Bennis, who starts it with a strike. And there are the numbers for Andy's first start here at home to Colorado.
Wasn't real good, and as I said, he got a couple breaking balls, change-ups up, and hit for a couple home runs, but he'll build off of that. The weather's a lot better tonight.
Trying to have Belliard chase that one, and the count 1-2 strikes. Belliard, Hammonds, and Jenkins for the Brewers. Off the end of the bat. Somebody should be waiting on the other end of that. It's going to be Marrero, 1 out. Al, get ready. We're going around the horn, big man. Today's Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tino Martinez is at first base. Second baseman tonight, Fernando Vina, wrong at Placido Polanco. Vina gets the night off. Across the way, it's Albert Pujols. He's at third base again tonight with Edgar Renteria, the shortstop. You know, Marrero's in left. He already has a put out. In center, Jim Edmonds. And over in right field is J.D. Drew. The catcher tonight is Mike DeFelice. And Andrew Bennis on the mound, the 0-1. 1-1 strike. 69 degrees here at the ballpark tonight. It is beautiful. Renteria can't get to it. It's a 1-out hit for Hammonds.
Hammonds on his second stint with the Brewers, and these Brewers have really banged Andy around. They have hit him at a .337 clip with 8 home runs. See that breaking ball up a little bit. It's going to be hit hard just off the glove of Renteria. Deflects it into left field.
That'll bring up the hardest swinging human being in the history of Major League Baseball. There's no way anybody could swing the bat any harder than Jeff Jenkins. Strike 1.
Well, he got rid of one of those hard swingers, Jeremy Burnitz, for tonight's starter, Glendon Rush. What Jenkins does, give it a ride.
Glendon Rush, the former New York Mets left-hander. Jeremy Burnitz is now back with the Mets in that deal, and Rush, who was so good in their home opener, pitches tonight for Milwaukee. No balls, 2 strikes.
Joe, I was talking with pinch hitter deluxe Lenny Harris, and talking about some of his new teammates. He felt that a lot of it had to do with Jenkins and Sexson, the 2 guys that have had success, but yet finds that if they make an out the first time up, they let it eat away from them, eat away at them, and they really just have a compound their problems throughout the game.
Last night in that 5-run 7th inning for Milwaukee with 2 on, and the Brewers down by 3, and Jenkins at the plate, Davey Lopes had the bunt on for the first 2 pitches, which was one of the most odd approaches that you could ever think of with this guy who can hit the ball off the end of the earth, the tying run at the plate. He missed on one bunt attempt, showed bunt, took a ball, and then went to swinging and doubled into right center field.
He has a tremendous amount of talent, and he has long ball potential anytime he's standing in that batter's box. And I was listening to you, and I could note your puzzlement.
That's a base hit into right. Hammonds will turn and go, and it's first and third with 1 out. So much like last night when the Cardinal relievers were able to get 2 strikes on these Brewer hitters, now they're able to put them away, and Andy Bennis is in first inning trouble.
Now they're a little different. They're not quite as free as swingers as they were a year ago when they set that record for strikeouts. So now when you get 2 strikes on them, they're trying to put the ball in play a bit more.
Here's a guy who put the ball out of play last year and over the wall with 45 home runs. He's hit 1, 4 for 25, but that last hit was a big hit at the time in the 5-run 7th inning against Gene Steckschulte.
Well, they've had some tough pitching opponents, notably Schilling and Randy Johnson.
That is crushed into left center field, and it is 3-0 Milwaukee. A base hit off the glove of Renteria, a base hit to right by Jenkins, and a 3-run blast into left center field by Sexton. And it's 3-0 Brewers, and that is a rather shocking beginning to this one for Andy Bennis.
Now this guy, just a fastball and doesn't get it far enough inside, gets those arms extended and just drives the ball, and there was no doubt about it.
Well,
Andy was talking about location being very important. He wasn't talking about in the middle of the plate.
Ball 1, low and away to Alex Ochoa. 388-foot home run from Richie Sexton. And now it's 2-0 on Ochoa. Cardinals are facing a guy that's given them trouble the past couple of years in Glendon Rush. Left-hander with terrific control. And he will walk to the mound with at least a 3-run first-inning lead. 3 balls, no strikes from Andy Bennis. Dave Duncan got a solid start last night from Garrett Stevenson. The first 6 innings were great. 7th inning was no good by Garrett Stevenson in the bullpen. There was a walk, and this crowd is growing restless already.
Batting 6th, number 2.
Brings in Tyler Houston.
Well, maybe get the double play. The first 5 guys in the Brewers lineup have hit Andy very well in the past. Houston and Hernandez have had their problems with it.
Last night Houston pinch hit, bounced into a double play. Here he takes ball 1, and that's 5 in a row out of the strike zone from Andy Bennis. See if the Brewers want to run on the combination of Bennis and DeFelice. On the outside corner, a ball and a strike.
Davey Lopes, better than 550 stolen bases in his career. Dave Collins, a former Cardinal first base coach, is coaching at first for him. He was a good base stealer.
The 1-1. Brewers really don't have that type team. They do have Eric Young, who is not a blazer as far as running speed, a guy who can steal some bases. They've got Belliard in the leadoff spot tonight, but if they're going to do some running, more times than not, it's going to be the hit and run. They keep the runner at first on the 2-1 pitch, and now it's 2-2.
And yet, in order to be a base stealer, you have to have a certain type of aggressive attitude. And I saw that young Sanchez. Looks like he might possess that type of base stealing attitude.
He stole third last night with 1 out, but Isringhausen kept him right there after that. 2-2 pitch. Another line drive, another hit. And after the leadoff man Belliard was retired, the next 5 have reached. And it's 2 on with only 1 out for Jose Hernandez, who hit 3 home runs. 3 home runs against Cardinal pitching last year, and Dave Duncan already has to trot out and talk to Andy Bennis.
Well, a lot of people want to say, oh, why didn't you pull a guy? You know, maybe it's not his night, but that's not the approach. You have a day game tomorrow, you know, and it's going to be good weather tomorrow. You don't want to run through your bullpen. But And one thing is sometimes you'll get a starter that struggles in the first inning. If he can get out of it, he has a chance to regroup and then pitch pretty effectively.
So with 2 on, 1 out, here's Jose Hernandez with Baco, the number 8 hitter, on deck. 3-0 Milwaukee here in the first inning. Ball 1 from Andy Benes. Hernandez, 1 ball, 1 strike. Andy Benes during the spring, and we talked a lot about it when we were down there on the radio broadcast and the game that we did televised back to St. Louis on WB11. He had a very good spring, but that is a distant memory right now after the first start against Colorado and this. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hernandez. In the spring, he was 1-1 with a 2.35 ERA. 19 strikeouts in 23 innings. His first time out, we already showed you 4 innings, only 4 hits, but 5 runs, and there were 4 walks. A 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals are really going to have to piece it together here at the start of the season, pitching wise, even with all the talent and all the arms that we've been talking about so much. They have stumbled getting out of the gate. The 2-2. Strikeout number 1 for Andy Benes. It's an important out. 2 out in the inning, and Paul Baco, the catcher, will be the hitter.
It helps you if you get these guys to chase some balls. That ball up there, that's a pitcher's pitch, a little bit above the strike zone, and very conducive to pop-ups or swing and misses.
Here's Baco. We've seen him with Houston. Been with Detroit. He's been with Atlanta and was Greg Maddox's catcher until the Brewers sent Henry Blanco, a very good defensive catcher, to the Braves. And a deal right at the end of spring training. That's ball 1 from Benes.
Baco's had 3 for 5 success against Andy in the past and off to a hot start.
There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. So far, Baco's 4 out of 7. Runner at second, Ochoa. Runner at first is Houston with 2 out in the inning, and the 1-1 pitch. Straying too far was Ochoa, but able to get back. 2 balls and a strike at the plate. Unless he was trying to draw a throw, I don't know where Ochoa was going or why he was wandering that far off the base. Better throw, it might have been enough to end the inning. Here's the 2-1. 3 balls and a strike with the pitcher. Rush on deck.
And Glendon in his first start, where he threw a complete game against Arizona, the on-deck hitter and opposing pitcher hit a home run in that game. His first big league home run.
We'll load him up. 2 walks here in the first inning. So we heard the scouting report from Andy Benes. Locate, locate, locate. You mentioned it already again, Al, and location has been a problem for Benes in his first 2 starts. Ochoa, Houston, and Baco, the runners, 3rd to 1st. Three-0 Milwaukee, and a gift strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Ball and a strike.
And that's what Andy needs to do. He needs to get ahead with that first pitch. So if he wants to come in, he can pitch in off the plate.
Missing off the plate, 2-1.
But falling behind repeatedly.
With the bases loaded, 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rush. who had a home run swing on that pitch. Already up to 36 pitches.
He's 77 in his first start, going 4 innings.
The inning is over, but not before the Brewers come up with 3. It happened in a hurry. 1-out hits by Hammonds and Jenkins, and then this from Sexton. 3-0 Milwaukee. Contrary to reports, Tony La Russa never did leave yesterday. He was here at the ballpark watching the game last night. He's back in the dugout tonight. The Southwest Airlines starting lineup. The Cardinals have Polanco in the top spot, with Pena having the night off. Then Renteria, Drew, Pujols, Edmonds, Marrero in the middle. Tino Martinez, Mike DeFelice, and Andy Benes batting ninth. We go around the horn is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. First baseman is Richie Sexson. Ronnie Belliard is at second base. Tyler Houston is at third. The shortstop is Jose Hernandez. We go to the outfield. Jeff Jenkins in left. Jeffrey Hammonds is in center. And Alex Ochoa is in right. The catcher is Paul Bacco, and it's Lyndon Rush coming off a 3-hit shutout in the Brewers home opener on the mound tonight for Milwaukee. Here's Polanco off to a 3-10 start. Strike 1 from Glendon, our Chrysler Jeep starting pitcher. The numbers for Glendon, his first time out against Arizona.
Gave up a pair of home runs. The only runs he saw, but it was a complete game 3-hitter.
They'll need a new bat next time, and Polanco's 0 for 1. This is the type pitcher, Al, that seems to give the Cardinals, I don't care what sort of team they have, who they add as free agents, who they bring up from the minor leagues. These left-handers who don't throw particularly hard are guys that tend to tie the Cardinals in knots.
Yeah, but the one thing that I found, contrary to my recall, was we beat him twice last year.
Nah, that's got to be a mistake.
I know, and hit him pretty good, but it's one of those situations where he beat the Cardinals twice in 2000, but was cut for 20 hits and 10 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings last year. Both lost both decisions.
The count's 0-2 on Renteria. Yes, that does surprise me.
Yeah, but my recollection is like you, one of the tougher guys for the Cardinals. Keeps them off balance.
2 out. Good pitch down and in. Renteria hitting .320 before that. Strikes out. For a brand new season, there's a brand new issue of Cardinals Game Day magazine. Catch up with your old friend Woody Williams and take a look at newcomers Jason Isringhausen and Tino Martinez. Call 314-982-7336 to subscribe to Cardinals Game Day magazine. 314-982-7336. Here's JD. And there's strike 1. Nothing but strikes so far from Glendon Rush.
Pitching aggressively, and that means getting ahead in the count and then letting the hitter expand his strike zone.
Into left center field. That'll carry pretty well. Hammonds puts it away, and the Cardinals go in order in the first. It'll be the top of the order for Milwaukee in the second. Brewers 3, Cardinals nothing. They call it Virtual Manager. You can vote now at foxsports.com on Lycos and answer the upcoming question. Will Eli Marrero hit over 300 this season? That's your question to vote on right now at foxsports.com on Lycos. Al, I know your answer. You think there's no doubt that Eli Marrero will hit 300?
Absolutely. I think he might hit 3,000.
Well, he's off to a 733 start.
We're going to name a plane after him.
1 ball, 1 strike.
737.
That's right. So that's the question we ask, and we'll ask a couple more as the night goes on. 2 balls and a strike from Andy Bennis, who allowed 3 runs on 4 hits plus 2 walks in the first inning, and is in some way fortunate that it's only 3-0. And a line drive in the left, but there's Eli, who will hit 3,000 this year, 1 out. Belliard is not in on the fun. He's 0 for 2.
Continues to go to that 700 route.
So with 1 out, here is Jeffrey Hammonds, who singled off the glove of Edgar Renteria last inning.
Hammonds now is 3 for 7 with a home run off Andy.
The Mets beat the Cubs today 3-2. Colorado beat Houston 4-1. Colorado also won last night. 2 hops, Edgar. 2 out.
That away, Andy.
Andy Bennis is an easy guy to root for.
Oh, absolutely. One of the most likable guys, and you know, he really showed a lot of people around here something by. He's got a last year of a contract, and he wants to be part of the fun. He didn't like sitting last year and not being on the postseason roster, so worked hard this offseason and won a starting job in spring training. Now he's got to keep it.
2 out. Here's Jenkins. There's strike 1.
You like that swing, huh?
Every time I see it, I enjoy it.
Well, we teach you in Little League, swing hard, you might hit it.
That's right. Problem is, these Brewers the last couple of years have been doing a lot of swinging and and missing, and I know they're tired of hearing about that, but it's something that has cost a couple of hitting coaches their job.
Gary Sarge Matthews is on the hot seat now.
We've seen the Cardinals take a little bit of a different approach already this season, and granted the year is young. I caught the corner, 2-2.
Dave Stewart. You didn't know he spoke Japanese, did you?
I did not. Does he?
No, but
last night he went out, had a meeting with their left-handed pitcher, Takahito Nomura.
Well, he was so effective in communicating to pitch around Pujols that he pitched around the Knicks too.
Jenkins strikes out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Bennis. Better this time around. It's 3-0 Milwaukee with a heart of the order for the Cardinals coming up. It's a 3-0 Milwaukee lead, and it's the big bats coming up here in the second. Pujols, Edmonds, Marrero. And yes, he lies on the list of big bats right now. Albert hitting .333, knocked home a run last night, leads the ball club with 8 RBIs. They are already, Al, emailing us in the booth. That's out of play off to the right.
Doesn't surprise me.
No. We have a very computer literate audience that we're broadcasting to.
We're very proud of the fact that we had more emails than any other region.
Pujols takes a strike, and Rush is hitting his spots here early, 0-2. There's no real way to play defensively against Albert Pujols except deep. And you can't really favor him to one side or the other, yet the Brewers play Albert to hit it the other way right now. And Rush is working him outside. It's 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's it, Joe. They're trying to be in sync. The outfield and infield pretty much straight away, and then outfield shading him over to right and pitching him away.
That's into left center field, and Jenkins to his left, 1 out. First 4 have been retired by Glendon Rush. It is Emmy Award nominated. The show everyone's been talking about, the best damn sports show period. Tonight, Jim Kelly, NFL Hall of Famer to be, Matt Kenseth, NASCAR driver, and former Cowboy Michael Irvin. That's tonight at 11 o'clock only on Fox Sports Net. One out. Here's Jim Edmonds.
Irvin going to be escorted?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to say something. Edmonds takes a strike on the outside corner.
Jim had an 0 for last night, his first of the year, but still batting .417.
With a couple of home runs. That's slowing away, 1-1. Should we tell them how they can get a hold of us here in the booth?
Sure.
On the internet? What's the address, guys, in the truck? Let it start now. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. There it is, foxsports.com, Lycos keyword, Cardinals booth. I've got my little computer up here, and whatever you want to know. 2 balls and a strike. 2-2. Edmonds likes it upstairs. Not that high, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Remember, the more difficult, the odder the question, the better your chances of getting it on the air.
You are controlling things, aren't you?
Here's the 2-2. Edmonds hangs in there.
As he dropped down sidearm line, the real test is can you hold that front shoulder in? Flies open, and the pitcher tries to throw to the outside part of the plate, and you're gone.
Just missed 3-2. I never understood why over the past year and a half the Mets consistently had Rush on the trading block, and I still can't believe they traded him for Burnett. And maybe Jeremy Burnett will surprise me and have a great year, but all those strikeouts, got it, will give you 25, 30 home runs, maybe more, but I don't know how you give up a left-hander like Rush.
I think you and I think alike.
Can Hernandez make the play? Nope, base hit. Cardinals have their first of the night. That was a hit either way. Either it was going up the middle for a single, or once Rush knocked it down, Hernandez didn't have a chance.
Well, good for Jimmy. Jimmy now 7 for 15 when facing Glendon Rush. Got a little piece of it. Change of direction for Hernandez. Bare hand, try to get rid of it, but Edmonds beats it out. We knew that he was only like a step or 2 out of the batter's box, so he saw that ball get by the pitcher and not have the steam to get to the shortstop, so he turned on the motors and got an infield single.
Here is Eli. 1 on, 1 out for Mr. 733.
We got to give him a new name. What we got to call him?
The 700 Club. Ball 1.
Well, what happens when he hits? You know,
800.
Not only 800, but you know. All right, fans are in Eli's corner.
61% of you think that Eli Morero will hit 300 this season. We didn't say over 300. It has to be exactly 300.
Oh, I think we're talking 300 or above.
Okay.
So that'd be the 800 club too.
1 ball, no strikes. 2 balls, no strikes. Tino Martinez on deck.
Joe, I think we all were kind of looking forward to carrying the 3 catchers. And I think in many cases you don't think of Eli as one of the catchers to start. He may finish up games like last night.
That will carry out to the right fielder Ochoa, 2 out. And the inning will continue for Tino Martinez. There's a day game tomorrow, Al.
Hey.
And these are the top 10 reasons to come to Busch Stadium tomorrow.
See if their top 10 met some of mine.
Number 10, the Cardinals are not on TV.
Ooh, that's true. Good weather, too.
Are you kidding me? There's 2 more. The kids will be out of school in a few more weeks. Take a break while you can. Tino Martinez, strike 1. You can get in for less than $10, for goodness sake.
I like this one here, number 7.
Your friends say you look much better in natural sunlight. Ernie Hayes promises a rare performance of his polka favorites.
That would be rare.
1 ball, 1 strike on Tino Martinez. What do we get to? 6? The last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We got 5 more. And I tell you what, there's over 10,000 seats available.
Martinez squirts one the other way. He's got a hit. It's 2 on with 2 out.
Now, Joe, that may be the start of something there. Been pulling off a lot of pitches, been struggling a little bit, but to hit one to the opposite field, that means you've got to stay on the ball. And little things like that sometimes get a terrific hitter, get them started in the right direction. Maybe he won't be pressing quite as badly.
Now it's DeFelice, who has 2 home runs. He and Edmonds lead the team. DeFelice hit the first on opening afternoon here at Busch Stadium and then went deep in Houston. 2 on, 2 out, strike 1 from Glendon Rush. A .357 average for half of the catching tandem of Matheny and DeFelice, with Marrero getting in late in games as he did last night. 2 on, 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike, and you can see Rush is aggressive tonight.
You know, one of the things that when he went to spring training, Dave Stewart said, what do you needed to work on? He said, my changeup is my least effective pitch. So they really concentrated on that in spring, and it's been one of the big pitches early going.
Too far inside. It's 2-1 with Andy Bennis waiting on deck.
And then they've also taught him a sinking fastball.
The defense for DeFelice played a lot of these right-handed batters to hit it the other way.
That's because of changeup.
3-1, and Andy Bennis may get a shot to try to knock home some runs.
You watch him, he'll pitch inside to keep guys honest and then try and get you out away.
With 2 on, 2 out. Will Rush give DeFelice something to hit? Nope. Pitched around him after he fell behind. And the bases are loaded for Andy Bennis, who is 1 for 1. Here they come. Hello, hello, hello. Edmonds, Martinez, DeFelice, and Andy Bennis at the plate.
Andy 1 for 1. Got his 100th career hit in his first start.
He could get a hit here.
Yes, he could.
Trying to hold up, strike 1. Pete from Edwardsville, Illinois says free Stubby Clapp. Stubby Clapp would play for free.
Yeah, and they freed him to Memphis.
1 ball, 1 strike. If the guy could play shortstop, if he could play more positions than second base, and the Cardinals don't believe he can consistently at this level, he might be here. Here's the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
For young kids, if you need to play more than one position, you have to show versatility, and as you say, Joe, that is the problem with a bench player that can only play one position. Second base is not good enough at the major league level.
Bases loaded, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Andy Bennis with the Cards down 3. Nice play by Baco to save a run.
Mike Matheny has absolutely the most perfect technique getting down. And you see a little bit of difference. He does block it. He does use the chest protector. But there are a lot of holes where that ball could have gotten through.
Bases loaded, 2 out. Bennis took ball 3. It just missed. And the count's full.
Darryl Cousins, the home plate umpire, has been consistent, but it seems like a very small strike zone.
Consistently tight.
Consistently tight. Baco tried to frame it, pull it back into the strike zone and frame it.
There they go, and there's a ground ball to short. Hernandez takes care of it. The Cardinals leave the bases loaded. Let's go to the 3rd inning. The Brewers will have Sexton, Ochoa, and Houston coming up. 3-0 Milwaukee. On this Chinook date in Cardinal history, or baseball history, let's talk St. Louis baseball, but the Browns. April 10, 1950, due to a salary dispute, Al Widmar quits the team and threatens to sue baseball. The Browns pitcher will sign a contract within the week for $75 for the year.
Well, they tried to pay him too much. He thought he didn't deserve that much. So
that's how it was back then.
Yep. When they got through talking to you, you know, you were just lucky to have spikes in a glove and the opportunity to pay your taxes.
Here's Richie Sexson, who has a 3-run home run tonight, and this is what it looked like. Everybody gasped. Oh.
Andy has never retired, Sexton. He's now 2 for 2 with a home run off the big end.
2 balls, no strikes here, so it gets even tougher. Off the end of the bat, 2-1.
You saw right there, Joe. You know, 2-0. Hitters like that count. Andy took a little bit off and almost got him to get a little check swing, a little nubber right back to him.
The 2-1 pitch. That's foul. Danielle from St. Louis says, I love hearing you guys. I just have a favor to ask. Could you tell my husband Tom that I still love him even if he is a Cardinals freak? She still loves you, Tom.
Yeah, have virtual manager decide that one.
Just open it up to the public?
Yeah.
People, do you think Danielle still loves Tom? 3 balls, 2 strikes on Richie Sexson. Here it is from Bennis. That's foul. Pitch count has got to be way up there for Andy Bennis, and it's at 55. He threw, what'd you say, 76?
77, first time out.
Pitches, his first time out. 3-2. Slow roller. Another foul. Well, the Cardinals have gone through their bullpen night after night, and last night they went out of their way to go through their bullpen with 4 pitchers appearing in that 5-run 7th. And that bullpen will be called upon again tonight. That is a sure bet. Our new virtual manager question. Vote now at foxsports.com. Lycos, will Jim Edmonds win another Gold Glove? He won one last year.
I want to vote. I want to vote.
I would vote yes.
Yeah, I would vote yes. So come on.
foxsports.com on Lycos. You can do it. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Andy Bennis gets a visit from DeFelice, as they're having a tough time evidently getting together on what to throw Sexton with a 3-2 count. Coming up after the game, it's the Midwest Sports Report, 30 minutes of nightly sports news, completely dedicated to the home teams throughout the Midwest. Tonight, Kareem Rush to the NBA. As Sexton flies to center, the Blues inch closer to the playoffs. And we'll take you around the National League action from today and tonight. 1 out as the leadoff man is retired, and that's now 5 in a row retired by Andy Bennis as Alex Ochoa walks in.
Yeah, just couldn't get things started there in the first inning, but been able to settle down. And he still kept is keeping his team in the game.
Here's Ochoa, who walked his first time up. Hit over 400 against Cardinal pitching last year.
7 for 11, 2 home runs against him.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Walked the first time.
Second go around for Ochoa with Milwaukee. As he lines one into right center field, that's going to get down and all the way to the wall. Ochoa will dig for second, think about going for 3, but hold. And it's a 1-out double. That guy can just flat out hit. Didn't used to be that way for Alex Ochoa when he first came up. He wasted a lot of early years in his career with the Mets and with the Twins, not getting much of a chance to play, but he's making up for lost time now.
Yeah, I think he came up as a highly thought of prospect, but then didn't materialize. People started thinking he's a journeyman, and And now he's finding the home.
That's ball one to Tyler Houston, who singled his first time up.
You know, last year when he went from Cincinnati to Colorado, Dave Duncan said, "Boy, I wouldn't mind having him on our team."
That because he hit over 400 against Cardinal pitching last year.
It sometimes puts a positive image in your mind.
If you can't beat him, try to have him join you. 2 balls, no strikes on Houston. Runner at second, 1 out. 3 balls, no strikes on Houston with Jose Hernandez on deck. Dave Duncan in charge of this Cardinal pitching. Has been since the '96 season. Came here with Tony La Russa. A lot of options this year, and we've seen quite a few of them swinging on 3-0.
Now, Joe, the reverse is sometimes I find it curious when a pitcher has such success against a team, then that team wants to trade for that pitcher, but yet he has a 500 record or sub 500. You go, well, who can he beat other than us?
Here's the 3-1 to Houston. Another walk from Andy Benes. He walked 4 in his first start. He's already walked 3. When Andy is doing that, he is more times than not in a lot of trouble.
Well, part of it is he's trying to learn how to adjust to pitching with left stuff. And you hear how he talks about, well, I have to locate the ball. The most important pitch for Andy and for just about all pitchers is first pitch strike.
With 2 on, 1 out, Jose Hernandez takes the ball.
You pitch aggressively, meaning first pitch is a strike, then you can kind of, have the hitter expand his strike zone. When you get behind the count, then you have to tighten up yours, and you throw the ball over the middle of the plate, you're in trouble.
2-0. Hernandez struck out his first time. 2 strikeouts in that first inning helped Benes, including a strikeout of Glendon Rush with the bases loaded to end the top of the first. Watch out here on 2-0. Hernandez has 1 home run this year. Now it's 3-0. Nice sized crowd on this Wednesday night. Over 20,000 at the ballpark, hoping for a strike from Andy Benes. And so was Hernandez. Here comes Ochoa to the plate. Marrero will just get it back into Pujols, and it's 4-0 Milwaukee. Hernandez drives in his 5th run of the season. A double, a walk, a single, and there's still only 1 out in the inning. This might be a Mike Crudale night before it's all said and done.
Yeah, because he will go down barring an injury. That was only the 2nd hit for Hernandez in 18 appearances or ABs against Andy. Bud Smith will make the start tomorrow afternoon. Good weather, more than 10,000 seats available. Even and several of them have $2 off, so you can get upper terrace reserve for $7 tomorrow.
Here's Baco. He takes a strike. Katie B from New Baden asks for an update on my dad, and that seems to dominate all of the email questions. 1 ball, 1 strike on a pitch down and in. There's a pretty good chance, if you want an immediate update, that he just flipped the channel after that base hit into left field, but he'll be back. But he's doing great. He had a terrific day today and is feeling better every day. And is not too far away from heading home. That's a foul for a strike and a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Baco, who walked his first time.
Well, it's different. I used to throw, when they had the gun out there, I was one of those guys that threw really hard, so they hadn't invented the gun, at least where everybody could see it. But, I threw fastball, slider. Now I throw a curveball, I throw a changeup. So I feel like I pitch now. Before I used to go out there and just fire. Now it's I'm going out there with a thought process and feel like I can go out and pitch, and I enjoy it more like this. And
that was the changeup right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think when Andy took it for granted that he could throw hard all the time, was more of a fastball slider type pitcher. I thought it was an off-speed pitch. They had him out in front. Now it's a curveball. His fingers are so big that he just kind of wraps that ball. He used to be just power pitcher, fastball slider. Now he's incorporated a lot more curveballs.
1 ball, no strikes. Glendon Rush, count of 1-1. Home run or not in his first start. Glendon Rush is not a terrific hitter.
There you see the newest Cardinal, who, as I said, barring an injury, it would seem to be he would be the one that would be optioned out tomorrow to make room for Bud Smith. Mike Crudell.
And Polanco keep it on the infield. No. Another run is going to score, and it's 5-0. It's a base hit by Glendon Rush. Polanco got there, and that ball, Al, may have hit the lip between the grass and the dirt, and it took a bad hop. Otherwise, Polanco was not only going to keep it on the infield, but might have gotten the out at first.
It seemed like he went a long way. I didn't see where he was positioned. I see he pitched him away. That was a foul ball. Now here's the base hit, and yeah, it went right at the edge of the grass. You see where he is, and let's see. Looked like he made a little bit of a false step to his up the middle, and then it hit right at the edge of the dirt and grass and went over the glove.
So an ugly start for Andy Benes gets a little uglier. He's already at 76 pitches. Crudell is getting ready, and we go back to the top of the order, and Ron Belliard is 0 for 2.
At the very least, they want Andy to get through this inning, hopefully at least one more, 2 more, and at least get his pitch count up to about 100. He's got to contain the Brewers.
First and third, 2 out. Ball 1 low and away. Another email question from Kyle in O'Fallon, Illinois. He asked a question that a lot of people are asking. How many more chances will Andy Benes get before Bud Smith takes a spot in the rotation? Bud Smith is pitching tomorrow. He takes Woody Williams' spot in the rotation. Woody's on the disabled list.
And I talked to Woody today. The MRI confirmed that there is a small tear. And so, you know, it's going to be at least a month, probably closer to 6 weeks.
Edmonds will take care of that. The Brewers add 2 more, lead by 5. The Cardinals will have the top of the order. They bat the bottom of this third. 5-0 Milwaukee. This game moves into the bottom of the third inning, a 5-0 Milwaukee lead. Our What's on Tap brought to you by Budweiser, with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. Upcoming games all on Fox Sports Net. Friday against Houston, then the beginning of that trip in Arizona. It'll be good to see Todd Stottlemyre, who was activated and pitched pretty well last night for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I saw that. He got the loss, but just the fact that he's pitching is good news.
Top of the order, Polanco. Strike 1. Placido bounced out to second as he broke his bat his first time up.
Start pecking away. You got plenty of game left to bring this one out. Pull it out.
There's a start. Base hit the opposite way. Placido Polanco stays hot. For that at bat, he was hitting .300. We have 5 reasons remaining why you should come to the 12:10 start tomorrow. You can get in for less than $10. There were no snow days this winter. You can afford to close the office at least one time this year. The cell phone reception at Busch can't be beat. It might be the only time you see Mike Shannon in daylight hours. I did not write that. I only read that. And the number one reason, come to the ballpark tomorrow. What better excuse to break out the Lederhosen than with the Brewers in town?
And I had one that I liked.
Which was?
You won't 3-putt a hole.
All day.
All afternoon, right?
And here's how you can get tickets for tomorrow's daylight game. 421-2400 or stlcardinals.com.
Hey, you know, there's a certain someone who's pitching tomorrow that is capable of possibly pitching a no-hitter. Don't want to put any pressure on you, bud.
No, but he's already done it.
Yeah, he's already done it, so you know he's capable. Mike Matheny will probably be guiding Bud Smith through that game tomorrow.
To the left side, back-to-back hits. Al Raboski says chip away at this lead. This might be the start of something good for the Cardinals. 2 on, nobody out, with Drew, Pujols, and Edmonds coming up. Here is our Ford dealers' key matchup. Look at the Cardinal outfield. Batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage. Already the numbers are in, and it's a staggering difference from a year ago.
Yeah. Well, Joe, the success of the outfielder is going to be
There's a base hit into left field. They will bring Polanco around to score. Good base running by Edgar. He goes first to third, and it's 5-1.
You're right. JD not trying to do too much. I think the more we see him go to left and left center, the more he is going to mature as a hitter. Not only just getting base hits, but he'll start driving the ball at the ballpark that way. So a base hit here, but as you mentioned, great base runner by Edgar. Jenkins, the left fielder, has the ball right now. Polanco scores, but Renteria just looked at him and just went right around second on to third, and he didn't even offer at it.
So here's Albert. He could make it a one-run game with his second home run of the season. On deck is Edmonds. Defensively, they play Albert to hit it the other way, as they did back in the second when he flied to left. Good fastball from Glendon Rush. Strike one. Runners at the corners with nobody out. And that's off the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I like Albert's chances right now. He's already seen Rush one time. If they want to pitch him away.
Off the end of the bat. Not a play off to the right. Strike 2.
Friday. Come inside that time, probably try and later in the at-bat they'll go away to get him out, and I see Albert driving a ball to the right side.
Big hole on the right side of the infield as Pujols got a piece of it.
Breaking ball there. Comes this last delivery, breaking ball, and just got a little piece of the top of it to keep the bat alive.
There are the runners. Good speed on. Good bat at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, can he hit? Does he have an idea at the plate?
Yeah, change up there. Good pitch down and away, but you've got to be in a defensive mode. You've got to protect the plate, and he spoiled a good pitch. The last 2 have been a good breaker ball, good changeup, but he's still up there.
Two and 2. Edmonds, who singled his first time up, will be next. Cardinals down by 4. They have 2 on with with nobody out. An opportunity right here to climb back into this game. To the left side. Houston a bobble. The throw to first. Safe. And it's a 5-2 game. Albert Pujols hustled the entire way, and it pays off as he reaches base on the error by Houston.
E5 RBI. There he reaches for it, pulls it. You're going to usually pull it there. There you see all the bobbles, and he just keeps on running and gets benefit. Look at, he's not that fast a foot, but he doesn't take anything for granted and keep on running hard. And Renteria, he realizes now that another run across the plate and still nobody out in the inning. And just like that, Edmonds represents the potential tying run standing in the batter's box.
So 2 on, nobody out. Runners at first and second. Edmonds. Ball 1. What are the results about Jim Edmonds with our virtual manager question? Will he win another Gold Glove? 79% of you say he will. And we would both agree. That's low, and the count 2-0 with Mr. Red Hot, Eli Marrero on deck. Polanco started it with a hit. Renteria followed with a hit. Drew reached on an RBI base hit to left center. And the error. Ooh, a gift strike for Glendon Rush. The count 2-1. I just don't think this outfield moves. It doesn't matter who's at the plate.
No.
The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike.
Rice is trying to drop down to Edmonds.
See if Edmonds gets something to rocket here. He's hit 2 home runs, driven in 5. That'll load him up. The tying runs are on with Marrero coming up and nobody out in the inning. Second walk by Rush. And a visit from Dave Stewart, the pitching coach of the Brewers.
How come when you see Dave Stewart reminds me of a story of Bob Gibson? He was pitching coach down in Atlanta, went out to talk to a young pitcher, and he told me, he said, if there weren't 50,000 people here, I'd slap you to your knees. Positive reinforcement.
Yeah, there's nothing like making your guy on the mound feel good about himself.
But you know what? Dave is really he'll give you that stare, and he was a tough competitor, but boy, he's a nice guy.
So Stu talks it over with Glendon. And right now, there's only one guy you'd want at the plate in this spot, and it's Eli Marrero, who flied to right his first time up, and who is hitting .688. The runners on in front of Eli. J.D., Albert, and Jim. Tying runs are on. Cardinals down by 3. We're only in the 3rd inning. 1 grand slam in Eli Marrero's short big league career.
On chipping away.
And a ball from Glendon Rush.
Well, doesn't it seem like, and of course, when you're making very few outs like Eli, you're centering everything.
Double play ball. 6, 4, 3. And it's a 2-run game as Drew comes in to score. Hard hit, but right at Hernandez. Over to third is Pujols with Tino Martinez coming up. But it's a 2-run game. Tino went the other way and got a base hit between the shortstop and third baseman back in the second. And he bats here with Pujols at third and 2 out. Still looking for his first Cardinal home run. Ball 1.
Tino. And this is helpful because he's faced Glendon Rush now 23 times, has 8 hits against him and a home run.
A lot of that's interleague play with the Mets. as he taps one foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Absolutely. You know, Tino is very private, very proud man. He has not made any excuses. And many times in spring training when someone tried to present him with excuses, said, nah, I faced this pitcher before. That's not the case.
A 1-1. We had a good swing there. Strike 2.
Timing a little bit off. And I think a lot of it is just trying to do too much. Trying to make people, this is a knowledgeable town and fans. They know how good of a player Tino Martinez is. He doesn't have to prove it to us.
Breaking ball, and Tino is frozen. Good pitch from Glendon Rush, and the inning is over. But not before the Cardinals get back in the game. The effort by Pujols, part of it. It's 5-3 Milwaukee. It's a 5-3 game now as we go to the 4th inning. Our next Tell Direct Connect hit isn't even a hit, but it's an RBI and it's an error, and it's good hustle by last year's Rookie of the Year, Albert Pujols.
Well, I said chip away. We did so, and getting 3 runs, getting right back in this ball game. Let's hope Andy can have a efficient inning of work.
Jeffrey Hammond's first up. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Milwaukee, with Jenkins and Sexton to follow Hammond. A 2-run game. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0. They're not going to go much deeper into this game with Andy Bennis. Luther Hackman is getting loose. And Andy may be throwing his last few pitches if he doesn't get Hammond.
Joe, home plate umpire has been the same for both sides, but postage stamp strike zone.
3-1. Off the end of the bat, 3-2. Sandy Spence from Norris City, Illinois. A few questions. We'll answer the last one. Do the Klein promotion caps come pre-soiled, or will I have to dirty it up myself?
Oh, no. Pre-soiled, but sanitized.
On 3-2, that's a rocket into left. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul. Just foul.
Loud strike.
Ball has been up, and Hammonds jumped on it.
Hammonds came out of the Stanford program. He was a top draft pick for the Baltimore Orioles.
What was Andy's reaction to that line drive down the left field line?
Hoof and mouth disease.
Give me the ball back.
That's right.
3-2.
That change up there, and I think he fooled Hammonds, but didn't get the call.
4 walks again for Andy Bennis. Here comes Jeff Jenkins.
Now he didn't fool Hammonds. Hammonds watched it all the way down, and good pitch. Good job of laying off it.
Steve Felice is going to go out and talk. That's a bad visit if you're Andy Bennis, because that was ordered from the bench.
Yep.
And that means that he's coming out.
And that's basically saying Luther Hackman needs a little more time to get loose. And do it slow enough to where they may come get him right now.
That's the only question. Will it be now? Yep. Here comes Luther. As Tony La Russa makes his appearance on the field, 1 on, nobody out, and Andy Bennis is knocked out here in the 4th inning. So Bennis, 2 rough starts. Luther Hackman will come in. Tony La Russa, who watched last night's game from his office after learning of his father's death earlier in the day, is back in the dugout making changes. It's a 2-run game. Today's Aflac trivia question is, which Cardinal hurler started 286 games during his career and completed every game but 8 who was his agent? Here's Luther Hackman.
Free agents.
Taking over for Andy Bennis, who goes only 3+ innings. Allows 5 runs on 7 hits.
Yeah, Luther Hackman happy to be back out there. He suffered the loss on Sunday, giving up the home run in the 12th inning to Ward. So this is 3 previous games, 0-1, ERA 6.75. Opponents batting .400 off him. 4 innings, 6 hits, 1 home run allowed. That was the Ward. That cost him the game. He's walked 3 and struck out 1.
A leadoff walk, and that was it for Bennis. And now Jeff Jenkins will hit against Luther. 1 on, nobody out. Runner goes. DeFelice's throw. Too late. Stolen base.
Made it close, but Luther kind of forgot about the runner at first base there. Look at the lead he has, and see, he took off, and Luther is still in the high leg kick.
So now the easier RBI chance for Jenkins, who has knocked home 2. One of them last night. Good pitch. Inside part of the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Luther has good stuff. He'll get it into the low to mid 90s. Got breaking balls, and you know, it's not a given that somebody in that bullpen may come out and start a game or 2.
The 1-1. Just thinking that same thing.
Luther was a starter in the minor leagues. Had some elbow problems beginning of last season, and you know, he proved to us that he has big league stuff. The best thing that Luther did last year, Joe, is he inherited 20 base runners and only 1 scored all last year.
Just off the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second is Hammonds, a walk and a stolen base, and Jenkins trying to push him home. A 5-3 Milwaukee lead. We're in the 4th. Three balls, 2 strikes with Richie Sexson on deck. Cardinals in the bottom of this inning will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. That means DeFelice, Hackman, and then Polanco. On 3 and 2. Jenkins advances the runner. 1 out. 1 away, and Sexson will be the hitter. With a runner at third and a 1 out. Hammond's a walk, a stolen base, and a productive out made by Jenkins.
Not exactly the 2-strike controlled swing. Trying to put the ball in play. He did put it in play, but still pretty big and wild.
Sexson now with the infield in. Ball 1.
Got a guy that'll strike out 150 times when it's all said and done. Those middle infielders, I don't know how convinced they are of being charging in.
This guy can make a baseball appear right in your chest real quickly. The 1-0. 93 miles per hour, 1 ball, 1 strike. Last night, Isringhausen came out of the bullpen and was throwing 96. So Hackman gets it up there in a hurry. He needs a strikeout here. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he's 2/3 of the way there. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sexson.
He's big, strong. I think he's a low ball hitter. And get the ball up on him, and you're ahead in the count. You can go in too.
Up and away. 2 and 2.
really imperative to be ahead in the count because you really want him to chase your pitch. You don't want to throw it a strike.
Runner at third, one out. Infield charging in, and two gone. Big strikeout for Hackman. And it's going to take a hit with Ochoa coming to the plate.
That away, Luther. Bear back and throw it. And it's up and out over the plate, but it's out of the strike zone. And even with that long wingspan, Sexton couldn't catch up to it.
So now Ochoa, who the Cardinals have a tough time with. So far, 3 out of 5 in this series. Overall, hitting .444. Runner at third, 2 out. And back toward us, strike one. Leanne from O'Fallon asks if we believe in jinxes. She thinks she's one. She left to do the laundry. Cardinals loaded the bases, came back, and Martinez made the final out. She's 11 and a half years old.
No way. She's not a jinx. She's our lucky charm.
Here's our 0-1 pitch. Leanne. That's on the inside part. Said Ochoa didn't swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. I thought he swung.
The child labor laws?
Nothing wrong with a kid doing her own laundry. 1-1 pitch. 2-1 with Tyler Houston on deck.
Obviously, your girls do it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Especially our 2.5-year-old. They have to at least be able to reach the dryer door to be effective in that.
Uncle Al's coming over and show Trudy a few tricks. All right. Your laundry room will never be the same.
See if the Cardinal pitching can get around a leadoff walk by Andy Bennis to Jeffrey Hammonds. 2-1. Three balls and a strike.
I think you would rather see a walk than to groove one here.
There's your walk, and it's first and third, 2 out. 2 walks in the inning. First man to reach against Hackman. Hammonds led off with a walk. That was the end of the night for Andy Bennis. Stole second. He's at third with 2 out. You saw Ochoa. He's at first. And here is Tyler Houston. A virtual manager question. You can vote now. FoxSports.com on Lycos. Who will challenge the Cards for the Central Division? First and third, 2 out. Tyler Houston. And Hackman's come out of the bullpen throwing hard. And Luther, I'm sure, will get stretched out here tonight. This should be more than a 1-inning appearance for Hackman. His bullpen is taking a pounding here in the first week and a half.
So it's almost inevitable. You go to spring training, you work so hard on lengthening your starters, you get your young phenoms a little bit of work, and then you have to use your bullpen day after day after day in multiples. Fastball down the way, or fastball in.
A 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Some people say spring training's too long, yet the Cardinal starters come out of spring training not ready.
It's a fine line of trying to give your young pitchers a little bit of playing time and trying to balance your innings for the guys that are going to be on your staff.
That's well hit to center. Will it carry? Edmonds back. Has room. Has the ball. And the inning is over. Hackman gets around the 2 walks in the inning. One on the record of Andy Bennis, the other on his record. Good work by Luther. Bottom of the 4th, 5-3 Milwaukee. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Auto Tire. For the very best in tires and service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. By Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete. And by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Glendon Rush had a 5-run lead. Glendon Rush has a 2-run lead. DeFelice first up with Hackman to follow. Strike one. Jason Roberts from St. Louis asks, has there ever been an ambidextrous pitcher? I just mispronounced that word. Ambidextrous, not trius. And the last one I remember is Greg Harris.
Greg Harris, I don't think he ever pitched left-handed in a game, but remember he had the glove in case he had the opportunity.
And that was the other part of the question. You could change from pitch to pitch.
Absolutely. You know, George Brett is ambidextrous. Never pitched. There was a young Mexican that was ambidextrous and pitched in the World Series, Little League World Series.
One out, nobody on. Our Aflac trivia question: which Cardinal hurler started 286 games during his career and completed every game but 8? Of course, it was Jack Taylor, who pitched from 1898, ended in 1907, and averaged over 8 2/3 innings pitched.
So there was a rule years and years ago, and it had to be prior to Jack Taylor, your familiar name, that whoever started the game finished the game. And the game wasn't, I believe it wasn't decided by 9 innings. It was decided by who scored 21 runs. The first to 21 runs.
That sounds like a fun game.
Oh, yeah. I think the rules are better now.
This is Luther Hackman. We haven't seen him swing the bat much.
You know, Shannon's ambidextrous. Remember he said he'd give his left arm to be ambidextrous?
3 balls and a strike. Hackman takes a 1-out walk. How about that? Third walk by Glendon Rush. On Sunday, May 5th, the Cardinals play the Braves. It's Kansas City Life Insurance Card Set Day. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive a set of 21 baseball cards featuring the 2002 Cardinals team. Sunday, May 3rd, cards in the Braves. Call 421-3060 or log on to stlcardinals.com. Here's Polanco, who started the 3-run rally last inning with a base hit into right. Polanco getting the start. Nothing wrong with Vina, but against a left-hander, Fernando gets the night off. Ball 1 from Glendon Rush, and we've seen Glendon pitch better than this in years past.
I think the small strike zone has had a factor on all the pitchers being a little bit off.
Polanco is hitting .323. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not bad against left-handed pitchers.
Last year, he was one of the tops in the National League at facing left-handed pitchers.
He's choked up on the bat, and a clunker to short. They get 1, and that's it. 2 out in the inning.
See, playing behind Luther Hackman, they know he's not going anyplace. And your first baseman, a little better defensive positioning, especially for a guy that hits so well to the right side.
Here, I've got an internet question for you that I'm making up myself. Okay?
I'll make up the answer then.
Here's Renneria. And there's a base hit. 2 on, 2 out. Why can't pitchers run? I mean, it's not like they don't do a ton of running every day. It's not like they're not terrific athletes. Yet, no matter what pitcher's on base, they seem half as fast as any of the other players.
Well, I was one that pinch ran. Several times, I'd be warming up in the bullpen, and of course the bullpens were down the sideline. They'd ask, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm ready for next inning." And the next thing I said, "Okay, go out and pinch run."
Drew with 2 on, 2 out takes a strike.
I could run, but I think that, like a lot of things are different. A lot of guys don't throw enough today. A lot of pitchers don't run enough.
Here's a chance for Polanco to run to the plate. Drew gets a base hit up the middle, and it's 5-4. Glendon Rush dropped down sidearm, and J.D. Drew hung in there and got a base hit to make it a one-run game.
So we talked about it. When you drop down sidearm, your location is very important. And let's see. See, he's set up away, but he reaches back to the middle of the plate. If that front shoulder bails, then you'll pull off the pitch. But if you hold it in, and he holds that front shoulder in, takes the ball right back up the middle, dropping down sidearm is not that effective. You've got to get the ball out away from somebody, and maybe he showed it a little too much. First time to J.D., but he showed it to Edmonds a couple times, and J.D. was paying attention.
Here's Albert Pujols now. Cardinals are a hit away from tying this game, an extra base hit away from taking the lead. That's down the right field line. Going to be a tough play. Can anyone get there? Great play by Ochoa. Alex Ochoa with a basket catch to end the inning. But a walk to the pitcher Hackman eventually leads to trouble. Drew's hit makes it a 5-4 Milwaukee lead. Ford Focus now with $1,500 cash back or 0.0% APR financing plus 6 months of gasoline at no extra charge. Focus only at your Quality Ford store, the home of the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Nice night for baseball. 70 degrees when we started. And after the Brewers jumped out to a 5-0 lead, it's now 5-4 Milwaukee. We go to the 5th. And a strike from Luther Hackman. Hernandez, Baco, and then the pitcher Rush, the bottom three in the order for Milwaukee.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Luther to establish himself and put himself in contention.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Small strike zone, isn't it?
Wow.
Batters are bigger, stronger. Wood is better. Less foul territory.
Good pitch, strike 2.
Fences are moved in, and a strike zone that gets smaller too.
Last night's starter, Garrett Stevenson, very good for his first 6 innings. Dan McLaughlin had a chance to talk to Garrett tonight.
Joe, thanks a lot. Garrett, you pitched last night. How are you feeling today?
Feel pretty good. I'm starting to get where I can bounce back a little bit better, and today I'm a little sore like normal, but next couple of days should feel real good.
Pretty happy with last night, though, even though that the wind didn't go your way, but as a team it did, and you looked impressive at times.
Yeah, I went out the first 6 innings, and I was very aggressive and threw a limited number of pitches, and kind of got myself in trouble in the 7th, and Duncan decided that he didn't want me pitching out of any trouble from the 7th inning on yesterday, so he took me out of the game, which was fine.
Always nice to be back in the majors, though, right?
It's definitely nice to be back in the majors.
Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that is Garrett Stevenson. Joe, what a job last night, and what a story he has turned out to be. Back to you.
All right, Dan, thanks. 2 balls and a strike on Baco after Hernandez struck out to start the inning.
Pitched very well last night, Joe, and deserved a better fate. Left those 2 runners on in the 7th, and then they came around to score.
Baco, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Garrett told me when we were in Houston, and it makes a lot of sense. He said, I spent so much time rehabilitating my arm, working on the physical part, that what he realized late in spring training and his first start is he forgot about the mental aspect of pitching and getting hitters out. I think he rediscovered that last night.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Garrett Stevenson with his biggest fan behind him. Baco is jammed. Little pop up. Watch out, Albert. It's out of play.
How many blades?
Probably about 8.
I don't have that fan on tonight, but it'll be on tomorrow. supposed to be about 80 degrees, give or take 15.
It's supposed to be 80.
I said give or take about 10 or 15. No,
So it could be 95.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes as Baco had to go back and get another battle.
Well, I think it's going to be in the 70s. Bright sunshine, great day out here at the ballpark. A lot of seats available.
We're already in the 5th. It's a 5-4 Milwaukee lead. 3-2 pitch with 1 out.
You could save on your membership minutes at the tanning booth. There's plenty of seats available in the sun tomorrow.
It's all covered. It's all right there. With 1 out, another 3-2 pitch. That'll play. Eli Marrero. 2 out. Okay, great seats still remain for Cardinals games this season. Cardinals have made attending a baseball game with your family and friends affordable with discount specials such as kids pricing, fan half price nights, day game specials, family fun Fridays. Ordering tickets is as easy as logging on to stlcardinals.com or by calling the Cardinals charge line 421-2400.
Hey, we got some great promotions this weekend too. Got the ball day for the kids, and a T-shirt day Saturday and Sunday for the kids. Neat T-shirt.
That is the Matt Morris, Mike Matheny. It's 2 T-shirts in 1 giveaway.
Yeah, strike them out, throw them out.
2 balls and a strike on Glendon Rush. The Cardinals in the bottom of this 5th will have Edmonds, Marrero, and Martinez. If anybody gets on DeFelice, and after DeFelice, Hackman's spot again. Inside corner, 2-2. Hackman's done his job. That was a late swing. DeFelice wasn't sure that Rush got a piece of it. In fact, Hackman doesn't believe he did.
Now I think Hackman's say pick up the ball and now ask and see if the guy if he checked his swing, if he didn't go around. Let's take a look at it. It was a little bit funny. It was off the glove and said he didn't go through.
So it's a 3-ball, 2-strike pitch coming the way of Glendon Rush. And that ends the inning. Luther Hackman has struck out 3 in 2 innings worth of work. Jim Edmonds coming up to try to get something started again. Halfway through it, 5-4 Milwaukee.
Well, with the life Lawrence Taylor has lived, he's lucky to be alive. His celebrity status in the Big Apple created a nasty alter ego that led him to his downfall. The Emmy-nominated Beyond the Glory takes you inside the hidden world of sports' biggest stars. Lawrence Taylor, Beyond the Glory, presented by Acura. Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Net. Those 2 guys didn't have to worry about living the bad life. Todd Worrell and Red Shaney.
Here's Jim Edmonds. First up against Glendon Rush. He's trying like heck to get through 5 innings. Down the right field line, strike 2. Who will challenge the Cards for the Central Division title? Our virtual manager on FoxSports.com on Lycos. The Astros, 75%. Cubs, the number 2 challenger, and I agree there as well.
Yeah, but they don't believe in it too much. Only 13%.
Hernandez, good play to stay with it and get the out. Didn't come up with it cleanly, but stayed on top of it and fired a strike over to Sexton for the first out.
You know, other than the high strikeout total, Hernandez has always been a pretty darn good player. And there he stays with it. He's an offensive-minded shortstop. But he makes this play, and that's big, leading off the 5th inning.
Now it's Eli Marrero with 1 out, and Tino Martinez on deck. Over but low. Oh for 2 so far tonight. He had made only 4 outs all season coming in to tonight's game. He's up on the count here, 2 balls, no strikes. And at the knees, 2 balls and a strike. The Cardinal change in hitting philosophy for the first 7 games. Last year, the Cardinals had piled up 56 strikeouts. This year, only 38. There's a good pitch from Rush, and it's 2-2. Mitchell Page has done a fine job since taking over around the All-Star break last year. The 2-2 to Marrero. Good pitch. Eli out in front with that swing. 3rd strikeout for Rush and 2 out in the inning. Friday, the St. Louis Cardinals return to the field to take on Jeff Bagwell. And the Houston Astros. Coverage begins at 6:30 Central right here on Fox Sports Net. That's Friday night, 6:30 Cardinals tonight with Dan McLaughlin, Al Raboski, Mike Shannon.
Cast of thousands.
Cavalcade of stars. The 0-1 pitch to Tino. 0-2.
So Mike Tillman is thrown in the Cardinals bullpen. I wonder if they're just going to end Hackman's night with 2 very good innings.
One ball, 2 strikes. So Timlin's getting loose. On top of that, if they do make the change, will they make a double switch? Martinez pops it up, and that'll head out of play.
If he didn't make the double switch, it would be more of them saying that they only want him to pitch 1 inning so he'd be available tomorrow for the day game.
That is a foul ball. Tino's happy for that. Martinez still not comfortable at the plate. Got a base hit the opposite way his first time up. But then with a runner at 3rd, struck out to end the 3rd inning his last time up.
He's always been somewhat of a streaky hitter throughout his career.
Got him on the outside corner. And the inning is over. 4 strikeouts for Glendon Rush. We have played 5 innings. Good play to start the frame by Jose Hernandez. Still 5-4 Milwaukee. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By your local St. Louis area Kia dealers. It's about time everyone had a well-made car. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. Double switch. Eduardo Perez is in the game now in left field. Eli Marrero is out of the ball game and hitting in his spot, though he never will bat in that spot, will be Mike Timlin. He's the new Cardinal pitcher, 3rd of the night after Hackman was terrific.
Appearing for the 5th time. He has no record yet. He's only had 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits allowed.
The very expensive dugout floor cam with our score, 5-4 Milwaukee. We have cameras everywhere with Fox Sports Net. Microphones in the wall, microphones in the bases, cameras on the floor of the dugout. Here's Ron Belliard, top of the order for Milwaukee. Hammonds and Jenkins will follow Belliard. 5-4 Milwaukee. We're into the 6th inning now. Ball 1. Sunday against the Astros. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Oh, yes. Remember the one that slipped away.
A 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. That was a tough one to take.
It was a tough one to take. Should have won in regulation.
There's a strike, 2-1. Ben Lincoln from Centralia, Illinois, asks, I was watching a game last year when Al referred to the Hungo pitch. Forgot what it was. Here's a 2-1 delivery. 2-2.
Well, we got a pitcher back here in the booth with the Hungo pitch. That was a pitch that was outlawed by Major League Baseball, thrown between the ring finger and the middle finger.
The 2-2. Belliard checks on Pujols. That's a foul ball.
Major League Baseball felt that it would be disgraceful and
just flat out unfair.
Unfair to the competitive balance of baseball if I was the best pitcher in the game. I could throw the pitch contrary to what the written says on the Hungo pitch, but I could throw it 212 miles an hour.
That's it?
Yeah, it says 230 on the photo.
2 hops. Renteria gets a true bounce and throws out Belliard. 1 away. Dave Duncan charting these hitters. He will enter that into his laptop later on tonight.
And he's going to wrestle a little bit with another starter that doesn't go deep into a ball game, that puts a burden on the bullpen.
Now the Cardinals will be looking to Bud Smith tomorrow to give them innings, and we seem to say that every night. 0-2 on Hammonds.
And you're in a stretch where your next off day is the 22nd of April.
And you got a big weekend series coming up with Houston.
Absolutely. So sometimes you have to be careful how to manage your bullpen and your starters.
That's easy. Edmonds hardly has to move. 2 out. Cardinal fans, on Friday, April 12th, this Friday, the Cardinals play the Astros. It's Busch Magnet schedule night at the ballpark. All fans 21 and over receive a magnet for the 2002 Cardinals baseball schedule, courtesy of Busch Beer. Friday, April 12th, this Friday, Cards in Houston. For tickets, call 421-3060, 421-2400, or log on to stlcardinals.com. Here is Jeff Jenkins. Jammed, and that's an easy inning for Mr. Timlin. Tino Martinez takes care of Jenkins, and we go into the bottom of the 6th. DeFelice, Perez, Polanco coming up. It's still a 1-run Milwaukee lead. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's DeFelice facing Glendon Rush. Strike 1. A 5-4 Milwaukee lead. One ball, one strike. Rush has been good enough to hang on to a lead. It was 5-0 after 2.5 innings. The relief work has been almost flawless from Hackman and Timlin. And if you're going to win a game where you fall behind big early, it's going to take good work from the bullpen, and so far the Cardinals are getting it.
Remember on last Friday night, Woody Williams went out after 2 innings with the oblique muscle strain. And 7 shutout innings by the bullpen.
On 1 and 2, DeFelice stays in there. Jason from Mountain Home, Arkansas asks, do batters in baseball still cork their bats? Some do. We just don't know who.
I had a Houston Astro player tell me the other day, he said, we cork bodies, we cork bats. Nobody cares anymore.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The body parts meaning supplements.
I assume so. I was afraid to ask.
Interesting. Here's a 2-2 pitch. DeFelice misses a changeup, and he's gone. Strikeout number 5 for Glendon Rush. If you'd like to win Cardinal tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinal home game, you have to send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Mo 63177. Eduardo Perez is still looking for his first hit of the year.
So have you noticed ever since we did the strikeout graphic, we've had 3 out of 4 Cardinals go down swinging?
I did not notice that.
Yes. Timing is everything.
Marrero and Martinez last inning, and DeFelice to start the 6th. 5-4 Milwaukee, and Perez gets into one to left field. Back is Jenkins. Eduardo just got under it. 2 out. That'll bring in Polanco. And Davey Lopes, the manager of these 2-5 Brewers on a brisk night, is sweating through this one, along with his pitching coach, Dave Stewart. 28,271. Paid attendance here tonight, just about what it was last night. Here's Polanco. There's ball 1.
The Cardinals have sold nearly 2.5 million tickets this year. But a lot of those games in the middle of the season and late have been really gobbled up. So some of your best opportunities to get good seats are right now.
Good pitch. Polanco was frozen. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Starting to find a little bit of a groove now, isn't he?
Glendon Rush certainly is. That's 6 strikeouts now. 4 in the last 2 innings. Let's go to the 7th. It's still 5-4 Brewers. Coming up next, it's the Midwest Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to teams throughout the Midwest. Kareem Rush makes the jump to the NBA, maybe. Don't know yet. He can still jump back to Mizzou. Blues inch closer to the playoffs, and other action from around the National League. That's immediately after this game. Now that's a hat. But you have to have people looking from above you really to get the full flavor of that. 5-4 Milwaukee, 7th inning now, and you don't even have to look up who this is when you see him standing at the plate. It's big 6'8". Richie Sexton takes a strike. Richie struck out his last time up. One ball, 1 strike, and Timlin gets squeezed. Darrell Cousins is having a pleasant night out on the field tonight, so he wants to stay a little while longer. Strike 2.
Good pitch, tying him up. You get anybody, well, all power hitters like to get their arms extended, and if you can throw that ball right in on their hands, you're going to have success.
On 1 and 2. Good fastball from Timlin. That's 1 out here in the 7th. Darryl Kyle and Matt Morris side by side talking pitching down in the Cardinal dugout.
I think these guys have learned a lot, and you know, Joe, I don't know if you talked to the trainers, but they were telling me Darryl Kyle has 75% more range of motion after the shoulder surgery, and it was very apparent Sunday watching him pitch that he is going to be coming back, and he's going to be a force. He can't believe how good his arm feels now.
Good. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ochoa. I really think that was a huge injury when Woody Williams went down, and nobody really talks about it, but in some respects, he's as consistent a starter as the Cardinals have. And in some respects, maybe, I don't want to say the best looking at those two guys, but he's right there with them.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it would have been nice to see that 3 battle to see who's going to be the team winner, big winner.
How's the relief work tonight so far? Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 7th inning. Our advanced auto division standings. Pirates lead the way. They're losing, by the way, tonight at home to Cincinnati with a 5-1 record. Then the Cardinals. Astros already lost. The Cubs already lost. Here's Tyler Houston. 2 out, nobody on, and Houston takes a strike. Boy, Timlin is pitching extremely well.
Woody talking with Barry Weinberg, but you know, 2 years ago Will Clark gave the team a shot in the arm, and I think same impact Woody Williams had on the ball club last year. They wouldn't have not have won without the 7-1 record that he possessed, but a lot of the leadership and a lot of the, you know, getting on guys and, you know, saying, hey, these guys are too good of a team to just lay back. And the ball club won 40 of its last 58 games last year when Woody Williams showed up.
One ball, 2 strikes with 2 out, nobody on. 2-2.
Keith Lee's taking charge, come out here and say, come on now, letting it wander a little bit. It's one of the real key things is you want to be efficient in these innings, so you don't have any long innings so you can get back out there and eat up innings.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Tyler Houston. Tino will feed Mike, and the inning is over. They've worked on that since the middle part of February. We go to 7th inning stretch time. It's 5-4 Milwaukee. Now for a look at what's going on in the world of sports. Let's go to the Fox Sports Desk.
This sports break is brought to you by Acura. I'm Michelle Bonner at the Fox Network Center. Doctors re-examined Ken Griffey Jr.'s injured right knee today and agree with the initial diagnosis, calling for 3 to 6 weeks of rehab. Kareem Rush announced Wednesday that he'll declare for the NBA draft but will not sign with an agent. Former 49ers safety Lance Schulters is close to agreeing to a 5-year, $20 million deal with the Titans. For all the latest news and scores, stay with Fox Sports Net.
Well, you can win a Santa Fe in our Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. Congratulations to Warren T. Mackey, today's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th, Warren T. Mackey will qualify for the grand prize drawing for a Hyundai Santa Fe at the end of the year. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer to complete an entry form. Good inning for that with Renneria, Drew, and Pujols coming up as Glendon Rush goes back to the hill in a 1-run game. 5-4 Milwaukee. Another online question. How about Joaquin Andujar? Did he swing harder than Jeff Jenkins? Asks Chris from Oakville, Missouri. That's not a bad thought. Joaquin let it fly.
Yes, he did. One tough Dominican.
That's right. I remember a home run that Joaquin hit. He was a switch hitter.
Switch hitter.
We have received 1,182 emails tonight.
Not enough. Not enough.
Edgar Renneria will lead it off. Charlie from Iowa asks, is there ever going to be an Al Raboski bobblehead day?
Well, a lot of people think that we've had the bobblehead, just not a day.
Right. It would be redundant. A 5-4 Milwaukee edge and a ball from Glendon Rush, and I'm sure that they're not going to go deep into the 7th inning. If Glendon Rush has any trouble, he will be relieved. That's pretty well hit. Ochoa over to get it. Bad break for Renneria. Hit it hard, but pretty much right at Alex and right, 1 out.
Thanks, Charlie, for thinking of me, but let's keep it to the stars.
Here's J.D. Drews, had a nice night. 2 out of 3 with a pair of RBI singles and a run scored.
So the bullpen for the Brewers is active for the 2nd consecutive inning. Maybe not a bad time to see if they can work the count and start taking a strike a little bit here and see if maybe Rush will be on his last couple pitches and groove one.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Give him credit through 9 innings, a complete game his first outing, and now working here in the 7th. He's over at 109 pitches.
Two balls and a strike.
He's thrown 5 fewer pitches than he took him to complete his first start. 115.
That was a 3-hitter against Arizona.
111 now. Obviously should be his last inning of work.
This may be his last hitter right here.
Right.
Depending on what happens.
Ooh.
Good rip.
Yes, sir. Good rip right there. Just didn't put it in play. If you're a pitcher and you see someone foul the ball straight back right over the catcher's shoulder, change velocity.
And he did. 7 strikeouts for Glendon Rush. And Albert Pujols will not face this left-hander. It doesn't appear this will be the last pitch of the night for Glendon.
A little breaking ball. He showed he was right on his fastball, so you've got to change the plane, change speeds, and he did it perfectly.
We're going to have a double switch here. Glendon Rush will be taken out of the game. And Nelson Figueroa will be the new Milwaukee pitcher. 6 2/3 innings for Rush. 4 runs, 7 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. And Figueroa will enter.
Houston came off the field, but see if there's not going to be a new third baseman.
Houston made the final out in the top of this 7th inning. Good work by Glendon Rush. Now it's up to the Milwaukee bullpen. Brewers up 1. Still a 5-4 Milwaukee lead, and Glendon Rush gets into the 7th inning. With Pujols coming up, the Brewers go to Nelson Figueroa with 2 out, nobody on. Figueroa was in last night's game. So far, he has not allowed a hit in 3 1/3 innings.
And he pitched an inning in the 3rd last night. It's kind of hard to believe that this guy was trying to see if he was released or not by, he was claimed off of waivers by the Brewers on April the 3rd. Spent time last year between AAA Scranton and Philadelphia. So he's got a pretty good arm.
So he gets to deal with Pujols. Albert hitless tonight, does have an RBI. And he leads the team with 9. He has hit a home run that was an opposite field poke in Houston. Two balls, no strikes. Pujols has hit safely in every game he's played coming into tonight. To keep that streak alive, you better get one here soon. And if you're going to have a hit, might as well hit one out of the park to tie the game. 3-0 with Jim Edmonds next. We're in the 7th, and the Brewers are up by a run. 2 out, nobody on. Milwaukee led 5-0 in the 3rd. Now it's 5-4, and that's strike 1. 3 balls and a strike. See if Pujols can find something to rip. Plunks one to third. The new third baseman Loretta fresh into the game takes care of Albert. Pujols is hitless, and we go to the 8th. Milwaukee will have the bottom part of the order coming up. They lead it by 1. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Lowe's, improving home improvement. First up, Jose Hernandez here in the 8th. 3rd inning of work for Mike Timlin. So far, he's been perfect.
Well, you can do that when you've been as efficient as Mike has. 6 up, 6 down, but very few pitches allowed.
Another strike. It's been nothing but strikes from Timlin. He's getting it up there at 93 miles an hour.
Destroying the myth that he can't go beyond 1 inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes. I know the Cardinals want to try to get rid of some payroll, but the most often talked about names, Timlin and Veers, I think will be extremely valuable to this team all year long. 1 out. Of course, it's not my money that they're spending on him, but these are veteran, proven quality relievers.
Absolutely, and no substitute for that down the stretch or independent race. Cardinals think they are. One of the reasons they're talking about that is to create some payroll flexibility for the second half if they wanted to take on another player's salary. But sometimes you got to get there.
Baco with 1 out, nobody on. Strike 1.
Joe, and there are other clubs that would deal with the Cardinals, but it's a situation like in Milwaukee. Say, okay, but you got to take Loretta. He's making $5 million, and he's not getting any playing time. So wherever the deals that can be made is, we'll take your high-priced guy, and you take ours.
I just as soon keep the reliever.
Yeah, and I know Dave Duncan would very much like to keep the 2 of them.
No balls, 2 strikes on Baco. Cardinals in the bottom of this 8th inning will have Edmonds, a pinch hitter, and then Tino Martinez. This will be it for Timlin. An 0-2. Baco 4 out of 9 in this game tonight. He's walked, he's flied to center, flied to left, and now he's lined one into right center. Drew on the run. Nice play. 2 outs.
Well, he got a great jump on that ball. Looked like a changeup or something up, and Drew closed the gap. You know, Joe, I talked to Dave McKay, and he said, we found last year our outfielders played shallow, particularly Edmonds. And with guys being bigger and stronger, hitting a lot of ball out of the ballpark, they for a reason have moved their outfielders deeper this year. We've seen a few balls fall in front of guys, but they're deeper this year because they're trying to cut off the doubles.
Our Pennzoil protection play is that from J.D. Drew to protect what hopefully will be a perfect 8th inning for Mike Timlin at the end of a perfect 3-inning stint out of the bullpen. 2 out, nobody on. Loretta took a ball. First at bat for Mark Loretta, who's 0 for 4 to start the season. 2-0.
Loretta's been a pretty solid offensive player for Milwaukee. Can play all the infield positions, and yet is having a hard time getting playing time.
2 balls and a strike. Andy Bennis lasted 3+ innings. Hackman outstanding in 2 innings, and Timlin trying to top that by going 3 innings. That's a base hit. Loretta's on with a 2-out single, and Ron Belliard will bat here in the 8th.
Got 8 straight batters before that little clunker into center field. Good piece of hitting by Loretta. Kind of jammed him, but he muscled it out, fights it off, and if Edmonds was playing shallow or not, he would not have gotten to that ball.
Should end the inning. Tricky little hop. Edgar stays with it. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3 shutout innings from Mike Timlin. He allowed only 1 hit. Brewers still up 5-4. You can get the best deals of the season on CX2 at your Quality Ford store. Qualified buyers get low 0.0% APR financing or $2,000 cash back, plus 6 months of gasoline at no extra charge. Ford is the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Edmonds will lead it off against Figueroa.
You ready to have this game tied up?
This is going to be a home run. The prediction has been made by Al Roboski. Anything to try to get something going. Edmonds has singled. He has walked. His average is .423. Got under it into center. And Hammonds is waiting for it. 1 out.
Had you scared for a minute.
Had me excited.
Hopeful.
Timlin is called back to the dugout. The Cardinals will send in a pinch hitter. Miguel Cairo will come off the bench and bat with 1 out here in the 8th.
Nelson Figueroa is from Brooklyn, New York. Went to Abraham Lincoln High School.
This is today's Auto Tire pinch hitter, Miguel Cairo, batting for Timlin, and again for Timlin. 3 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, no walks. He was outstanding. Cardinals will need a new pitcher, and they get a right-hander loose out in their bullpen. That's Crudell.
Major League debut coming up, huh?
But right now, let's see if the Cardinals can do something to get him the lead. Dave Duncan and Mike DeFelice have to be awfully proud of the relief work done tonight. Andy Bennis won't be happy with his start. Cairo takes a strike. Miguel so far has 2 RBIs. He's 0 for 3. And a pop-up will make him 0 for 4. 2 out. Nobody on, and let's go to Dan McLaughlin up here in the press box.
Well, Joe, one of the stories already in this young season has been Tino Martinez. Not the greatest of starts, didn't really have that great of a spring. I talked to Tony La Russa before tonight's game, and one of the things that we talked about is him grinding it out. Now, he has had a rough start, 1 for 3 here tonight with 2 strikeouts, but grinded out probably the best way to describe Martinez, who has done it time and again when he was with the Yankees. You think back to 1997, 44 home runs. Only Jeff Bagwell is the only first baseman in the majors to drive in more runs during the same 7-season span. So this guy can do it. 100 runs he's driven in 6 of the last 7 years. Just a matter of time before Tino adjusts to the new pitching, new ballparks, and new surroundings, and hopefully make a big contribution to the 2002 Cardinals. Guys, back to you.
All right, making a big contribution tonight for the Brewers, Nelson Figueroa. We saw this guy last night, the left-hander coming in for Milwaukee, Takahito Nomura. He'll face Tino when we come back. Tino Martinez will go to work against Nomura, the left-hander, and Takahito walked Tino Martinez in last night's 7th inning to force home the tying run. So Martinez will be facing this southpaw for the second time.
He is a former Japanese League player, a true free agent that Milwaukee signed this offseason, meaning that he played 10 full seasons in the Japanese League, and so he was an unrestricted free agent, able to cut his own deal here in the United States.
Martinez with 2 out, nobody on, takes a strike. A big loss today for the Cubs, not only in the game in the 8th inning, back-to-back home runs by the Mets, Alomar and Piazza, but they lost Kyle Farnsworth.
Really?
Fractured his foot as Tino Martinez chops one foul for strike 2. 4 to 6 weeks Farnsworth will miss. That is a big hit. Cardinal Baseball is produced by Bud Sports in association with Fox Sports Net. With 2 out, nobody on, Martinez pops it up. That should end the inning. Tough play. The catcher gives way to Loretta, the third baseman, and that'll do it for the first 8. 9th inning now. It was 5-4 after 4. It's 5-4 after 8. It's the 9th inning now, still 5-4 Milwaukee. Cardinal fans, this Sunday the Cardinals play Houston. It's Coca-Cola T-shirt day and kids opening weekend. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive a T-shirt featuring Matt Morris and Mike Matheny, compliments of Coca-Cola and Papa John's. In addition, there'll be special games and festivities in the Southwest Airlines Family Pavilion with opening day events designed just for kids. That's this Sunday. Cards hosting the Astros. 421-3060 for tickets, or log on to stlcardinals.com and welcome to the big leagues. That heart is thumping and pumping under the jersey of Mike Crudale.
Well, really, he was a 24th round selection in June of '99. Pitched in 62 ball games last year at Double-A, and now he finds himself here in the big league. Sinker slider type pitcher, and he was a third baseman in high school. Went to the University of Santa Clara, where in his freshman year, they changed him to pitching. So I think a lot of parents would be surprised and find that there's a lot more stories of major league pitchers that didn't have the wear and tear on their arms at such a young age and learned pitching either late in high school or college. Kind of a sinker slider type guy. Listed at 6'205".
1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the things they like about Mike is he attacks hitters, very aggressive, goes right after the guys.
Hard hit, but right at Eduardo Perez.
Now he can take a breath.
Well, if Crudale is the guy to go down tomorrow when Bud Smith pitches, we'll hold that and check in with Rob King with the Midwest Sports Report. Rob, what's coming up?
Coming up after the game on the Midwest Sports Report, Jim Hayes goes one-on-one with tomorrow's starter Bud Smith. We'll have the latest as the Blues race to the playoffs. Plus, Kareem Rush looks like he's going pro. Now back to Joe and Al.
All right, Rob, thanks. Just starting to say that if Bud Smith is going to be activated tomorrow, which we know he will be, and if somebody is shipped out of here, Crudale is likely to be the guy, but this is a chance for him to show that later on when the Cardinals need somebody, that he's capable of pitching at this level.
So important, too, to game in a game. Let him feel good about his appearance, hopefully, and hopefully we can have him, his teammates, pull one out in the bottom of the 9th inning and reward him with a victory. How can you send a kid down? He just won his first big league game. But the reality is that coming up was wonderful news for him, and hopefully he'll make a good impression.
On 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeff Jenkins, the second hardest swinger in Major League Baseball history, only to Joaquin Andujar. The 1-2 pitch. Well, Crudale can get Jenkins 2 out.
And he doesn't cut down anything at all, but this is look at the bottom fall out of that pitch. And he doesn't get cheated up there, but he doesn't cheat and cut down on that swing at all. There's another guy that swings hard all the time.
That's strike one.
Obviously, two major league hitters that did not read that off-speed pitch.
No balls, one strike on Richie Sexton, who has the biggest swing of the night. A 3-run homer back in the first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Then the Brewers got 2 more in the 3rd inning. The last one driven in by Glendon Rush. And that run is still holding up as the difference. It's 5-4 Milwaukee. We're in the top of the 9th. The Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th will have DeFelice, Eduardo Perez, and Polanco. From the hole, Renteria, good play. And the relief pitching tonight by the Cardinals has been almost perfect. And that relief work started way back in the 4th inning. Still a 1-run lead, Milwaukee. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net was brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Well, will anything happen from that dugout past the on-deck circle and out into the batter's box here in the bottom of the 9th inning with the Cardinals down by 1, 5-4 Milwaukee. And the relief pitching tonight has been fantastic. It's kept the Cardinals in the game, and the latest reliever for Milwaukee is a guy trying to fill in as their closer, Mike DeJong.
That's right, and see the numbers on the year for Mike. The current Cardinal hitters have batted only 147 average with no home runs or runs batted in against DeJong. Kerry Robinson will pinch hit and be the first man to face him.
Our auto tire pinch hitter Kerry Robinson batting for DeFelice with Eduardo Perez and Placido Polanco to follow. Anybody gets on in the inning, Renteria.
We talked about it. Kerry's facing their current closer. Les Canick's on the DL. Chad Fox is on the DL. Ray King's on the DL.
That's trying to get out of play, and it will. 1 ball, 1 strike. Surprising to look down and see where Kerry Robinson was when that ball bounced up into the seats. He was already headed to second base.
Well, his game is based on speed, so he better always be hustling. His stride's a little quicker than most.
Oh, boy, he gets down there fast. Here's a 1-1. Here's a tester. Belliard. Can he get him? No. He's fast, and he's on to start the 9th.
Good thing, speed. And boy, he just got a little bit of a number. It was well placed. You see where Belliard is up towards the middle. So a long run to him. Tried to right himself. Straighten himself out, and a very close play at first. Look at him come out of the box, and they say he's safe. I thought the naked eye, I thought he was out.
I thought he was safe.
Well, I'd like your version better than mine.
All right, well, now what do you do with Eduardo Perez? They expect the bunt. Loretta's pulled in at 3rd. Tying run at first with nobody out. Hit and run. That'll get the job done. DeJong makes the play. Good play to get the out. Down to second is Kerry Robinson, and now without that play by DeJong, probably 2 on with nobody out. Terrific effort.
You're right, and it looked like he fielded the ball after it was by him and then spun and threw. I thought once this number was off the mound, I thought both of them would be safe. His momentum carries him to the first base side, so a terrific play by the pitcher. And almost running backwards, you see the ball was behind him or beyond him, and then he feels it, comes up and fires and throws a strike. Very nicely done.
And very aggressive by the Cardinals with a hit and run instead of the bunt. So Perez advances the runner. Kerry Robinson is a hit away. from sliding across home plate with a tying run. Polanco and Renteria will have their chances to do it. Ball one.
Well, let's see if we can take one away from these guys.
Cardinals came from behind and got the winning run in the 8th inning last night. Trying to do damage in the 9th inning tonight. Tying run at second. Polanco. Slow roller. Tough play. Loretta. Got it. 2 out. Good play by Mark Loretta. And it's going to be up to Edgar Renteria. It's time for our play of the game as the Cardinals send Renteria to the plate. Play of the game brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up but never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. By far the biggest swing of the night. The hardest hit ball of the night. Richie Sexson with his 3-run home run back in the first.
It's held up to this point. Will it hold up to the game?
Renteria could tie it with a hit.
2 for 4 tonight. Hit the ball hard 3 times.
Ball one. Cardinals 4-3 on the season. The Brewers are 2-5. Gary Robinson the tying run at third with 2 out in the 9th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike.
John really has a good arm. Now, he's kind of wasted in Colorado. A good arm in Colorado doesn't really work, but he's not easy to face.
Keeping the ball down in the count 1-2. Gary Robinson started it with an infield hit. Went to second on a hit-and-run ground out by Eduardo Perez. Moved to third and a ground out by Polanco. There's the battle. Dejan and Renteria. That's foul.
Good power sinkers. Guys aren't centering the ball. There have been little dribblers this inning. Terry's worked.
Renteria could tie it with a hit. Dejan throwing hard as well, 93 miles per hour. Cardinals fell behind 3-0 in the first inning. They've been playing catch-up all night. Gary Robinson hoping to be brought home by Renteria. 2 outs, 1-2 pitch. And that'll get out of play off to the right. It's still 1-2.
Now, he threw a lot of those power sinkers, and then he took something off that one, left it up a little bit, a breaking ball. He is getting his hacks in, isn't he, Joe?
Battling Dejan, the 1-2 pitch, left side, game is tied. 5-5 on a 2-out 9th inning hit by Renteria.
Well, we just sold a few more tickets for tomorrow. Nice going, Edgar. Well placed, fights off that sinker, pulls it in the hole. Loretta off the line at third base, but it's too far to his left, just perfectly placed. And you can see these guys are excited. Don't pull a muscle, Woody.
Here's JD now, the winning run at first.
Let's get that one that slipped away Sunday. Let's get it back right here.
Drew has 2 hits tonight. Renteria just picked up his 3rd. Ooh, nearly a wild throw as Sexson saved it.
times called.
J.D. Drew still looking for his first home run. He may have to rewrite the play of the game. Ball one.
He'd be more than happy to, wouldn't he?
Now it's a battle of Drew and Dejan. Renteria does not have much of a lead over at first.
An awful lot of attention to him with 2 outs. I'd pay it to the hitter.
A 1-0. The bunt. Out. And we go to the 10th, and Sexton gets stepped on. Sexton goes limping away. The Cardinals have tied it on this from Renteria. Through the left side. Happy as Edgar. We go to the 10th inning. A 5-5 game thanks to a 2-out, 2-strike hit by Edgar Renteria. We go to extra innings tonight. The Emmy-nominated show, the best damn sports show, period. Tonight at 11 o'clock, only on Fox Sports Net. Jim Kelly will be there. Matt Kenseth from the NASCAR circuit, and former Dallas Cowboy Michael Irvin. On the best damn sports show, period, tonight. New battery for the Cardinals, and the guy chucking it is Jason Isringhausen, who Al Raboski was phenomenal last night.
Yes, he was. It was just old-fashioned hardball. 10 pitches to strike out the side. Only 1 pitch was fouled off, and only 1 pitch was a breaking ball. 9, and should we say high-octane fastballs.
Oh. And I like using the closer in this situation, Matheny doing the catching to the Cardinals pinch hit for DeFelice. Gary Robinson also stays in the game. He's in right field. Drew is gone, and that's where Matheny will hit, or rather Isringhausen will hit. Matheny will hit in the number 6 spot. This is not a save situation, but our virtual manager question, will Jason Isringhausen lead the National League in saves? Vote now at foxsports.com on Lycos. Hello, says Alex Ochoa. Welcome to the ball game. To Jason Isringhausen. First pitch, Ochoa waiting for that, and he doubles into left field. There's the go-ahead run. Ochoa, one of the 3 that Isringhausen struck out last night.
Coming up here and gets a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Starts to swing a little early. And catches it. An extra base hit. And first man up. So maybe Jason started his strikeout when he came into that ball game where there was a man on second base. Lenny Harris.
Lenny Harris is at the plate. A spot where you could likely see the bunt. Go ahead run at second with nobody out. Ball 1. Career pinch hitter, 262 average.
And he's the all-time pinch hit leader now.
Past Manny Mota.
Past Manny Mota.
Go ahead run at second with nobody out. Now the bunt. And it's a fair ball. Isringhausen makes the play. Good play for the out. Over to third is Ochoa, 1 away. Sacrifice is good, 1-3. He gave him a pitch and then let him bunt.
And he got it down, and that's not always easy to do against a hard thrower, but Lenny's been playing this game a long time and knows how to play it properly.
So Harris does his job, and now with a go-ahead run at third, 1 out, Jose Hernandez will be the hitter.
And here's a strikeout candidate.
Breaking ball misses for ball 1. Hernandez also a victim last night of Jason Isringhausen.
Jose already has 3 punch outs on the night. We get the golden sombrero.
Infield is in. Back-to-back breaking balls. 1 ball, 1 strike. Man on man, Isringhausen against Hernandez. Jose could put Milwaukee back on top. The defense for the Cardinals as they pull everyone in. Breaking ball is fly down the right field line, foul. Hernandez has yet to see the fastball, and he's in the hole 1-2.
I don't like that. And you've got a guy that struck out 160 times last year. Throw the fastball by him, and you're giving him something off speed. And 3 in a row. Let's see, dead red.
Isringhausen needs a strikeout, and he gets it. 2 gone. What a weapon that is. A double, a bunt, a strikeout, and now Bacco will be the hitter.
Well, you got a free swinger up there, and you see, look at that. It's not a strike. Now, you did change his eyesight after 3 breaking balls, but luckily he didn't put those in play or get that sacrifice fly. Or you did what you thought you could do with him, and that's punch him out.
Now it's Bacco with a go-ahead run at 3rd and 2 out. And a strike on a breaking ball. Dejan was lifted for the pinch hitter Harris. Mike goes an inning, allows a run on 2 hits, no strikeouts or walks. Brewers will need a new pitcher when they take the field in the bottom of the 10th to take on Pujols, Edmonds, and Matheny. Now it's man on man. Isringhausen against Bacco. Oh, goodness. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty good pitch.
Breaking ball was outside, came in with a fastball inside, couldn't get the call. Duncan wanted that pitch.
The 1-1. That should end the inning. Broken bat, and Izzy knows how to get around the situation of a man at second and nobody out. He did it last night. He does it tonight. He might get a win this evening. Bottom of the 10th, tied at 5.
Well, let's take a look at our virtual manager answer. Will Jason Isringhausen lead the National League in saves? 59% say no. Well, I think it's not that they don't trust in Jason. I think he had 34 saves last year, career high with Oakland. He'll get his share, but right now he'd like the victory. Tied as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. The Brewers will use their 5th pitcher, Luis Vizcaíno. He split the 2001 series between AAA Sacramento and Oakland. He came over from the Texas Rangers in exchange for left-hander Jesus Pena on March 24th. He pitched last night. He had a 1-2-3 6th inning, struck out 2, and that's his numbers on the season.
Well, will it be in the bottom of the 10th? Pujols, Edmonds, and Matheny will be the hitters against this Vizcaíno. He worked last night. They'll try to send it to the 11th. Our next game, Fox Sports Net, Friday night, Astros and Cardinals. 6:30 with Cardinals tonight. Albert walks in, nice ovation from those who remain when the crowd announced at 28,271. Pujols has another chance to extend that hitting streak. Coming in, he had hit safely in every game he had played. Tonight, Albert is 0 for 4 with an RBI. Cardinals down 5-0 after 2.5 innings. Have come all the way back to tie it. And a strike to Pujols.
Once again, sensational relief from the Cardinals. 7 shutout innings.
Only 2 hits allowed. Pujols has 1 home run this season. If this game goes to the 11th, it appears that Isringhausen would go back out there.
With the feeling that Tony obviously would want this game to end right now, but thinking, well, I got to be cautious with this bullpen. So I'd probably give Isringhausen a day off tomorrow. So let him go 2 tonight.
The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. That's where the luxury of a guy like Beers comes into play. And Klein, who could be called upon tomorrow to try to get a save when Bud Smith takes on Milwaukee. The 2-1 to Pujols. 2-2.
They have not decided who's going to pitch. Remember, Jamie Wright was supposed to start today's game. Glendon Rush tomorrow. But Wright having some shoulder problems.
The right-hander Nick Neugebauer.
Oh, this is a kid that's supposed to be one of the hardest throwers in all of baseball.
He's supposed to work tomorrow against Bud Smith. 2-2 on Pujols. Will it be the rubber game of the series, or will the Cardinals be going for the sweep? Albert leading off the 10th. Takes ball 3.
The Cardinals last year had trouble in extra innings, 1-run games, but I think they feel the bullpen is going to be an equalizer with Isringhausen, the closer, being a big factor. Change that.
The 3-2 pitch. Albert walks. And that call could have gone either way. Pujols came awfully close to offering at that pitch. But it's a leadoff walk, and now it'll be Edmonds.
I agree with you, Joe. Off the plate, and he sold it a little bit by going down to the first base.
Tony La Russa's numbers in his career in extra inning games. Well, now you got Edmonds, and I'd be surprised if the Cardinals bunt with Edmonds, although the Brewers look like they're half expecting the bunt.
I don't think you or I are. Remember, Ray King on the disabled list, so they only have the one left-hander, and they already used their Japanese import.
Strike 1. After Edmonds, it's Matheny. After Matheny, it's Tino Martinez. And you said it earlier, and I was thinking the same thing. This could steal a game back that the Cardinals gave away on Sunday in Houston. Down 5-0. Great relief work, kept chipping away at that lead, and finally got there with 1 out and 1 strike remaining on a hit to left by Edgar Renteria. 1 ball, 1 strike on Edmonds.
This is a real pickup day. Houston loses, Cubs lose, Pittsburgh loses to Cincinnati. So if you win your ball game, you just move up a notch, up the ladder.
Winning run at first with nobody out. 5-5 in the bottom of the 10th. Edmonds, who hit 30 home runs last year, has 2 up on that scoreboard right now, next to his .407 average. Two balls and a strike. Davey Lope's got a pretty solid start tonight from Glendon Rush. After struggling in the middle innings, Rush really settled down. But the bullpen could not hang on to a 1-run lead. And now the Cardinals could win it with a run here in the bottom of the 10th. Reaching for it in a pop-up. Tough play. Can anyone get there? Loretta in foul territory. 1 out. It's a big out for Milwaukee as they get Edmonds. And now Mike Matheny walks to the plate. First at bat tonight for Matheny as the Cardinals have used all 3 catchers tonight. Marrero started the game in left. He was yanked out of there in the 6th in a double switch. And then DeFelice was lifted for the pinch hitter Kerry Robinson, who started the 9th inning with an infield hit and scored the tying run on the hit by Renteria. The Milwaukee infield looking for the double play ball.
Remember last week, Joe, we were commenting about Matheny, where he had his hands, and we were correct. They were too low.
Strike 1.
Vizcaino can get the ball, get a ground ball here. They should turn 2. Mike just doesn't run that well. But against his former mates, he'd like to get the game-winning hit.
Do you entertain any thought, just throw this out there, of a bunt with Tino Martinez and Kerry Robinson to follow and hope for the hit after Matheny?
I thought of it.
It's at least a possibility. Not likely, but it's out there, trying to get the winning run into scoring position, even though there would be 2 outs.
Another risky play, hit and run. Because this combination, Mike Matheny, I think he is a guy that's capable of hitting behind a runner. And it's going to take more than, it's going to take a definite extra base hit to score Pujols.
Albert led off with a walk. Edmonds fouled out to third. Plenty of room on the right side of the infield as they hold against Pujols. Strike 2. Matheny hitting .214 to start the year. 500 career hits for Mike Matheny, who came up in the Brewers organization. Short time in Toronto. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Brewers, if we go to the 11th, would have Loretta, Belliard, and Hammond. If anybody gets on, Jenkins. Matheny in the hole with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. 2 out. And the batter will be Tino Martinez. Jason Giambi, Tino's replacement with the Yankees, hit 2 home runs tonight, his first 2 home runs in a Yankee uniform. He did it in losing cause, 9-7 at Toronto. Maybe Tino on the same night could send the Cardinal fans home happy with his first Cardinal home run. That's most likely what it would take to chase Pujols home from first.
And of course the outfield will play exceptionally deep and not allow a ball over their head.
Ball 1. Need to import John Sterling for these at-bats. It is high, it is deep. He's the Yankees radio announcer. Here's a 1-0. Oh, a fair ball. And the inning is over. An 8-foot ground ball by Tino Martinez. His frustration continues, and we go to the 11th. Isringhausen back to the hill. Still 5-5. 5-5 into the 11th. Coming up next, the Midwest Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to teams throughout the Midwest. For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, catch the Midwest Sports Report next. Kareem Rush will make the jump to the NBA only if he's a lottery pick. The Blues inch closer to the playoffs, and all the action from around the National League, including a recap from Joe and Al. It will be Loretta, Belliard, and Hammonds for Milwaukee in a 5-5 game. Oof. That glove pops when Isringhausen brings it to the plate. We'll see how Jason does in his first 2-inning stint of the season.
I think he threw that one
awfully well. 1-1 strike on Loretta, who singled in his only at bat back in the 8th inning. Loretta trying to get something started. Needs to start his bat sooner with that swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
95-mile-an-hour fastball, breaking ball in between.
Bottom of this 11th inning, it will be Kerry Robinson, Eduardo Perez, and Polanco, the same 3 that started it in the 9th inning when the Cardinals got a run to tie it. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball stays high.
One breaking ball in the dirt, one up there, shook off the fastball. I think this is maybe his cutter.
And Loretta got a piece of it.
And they say he doesn't really throw a slider, he throws a cutter, which acts a lot like the slider.
Feeney wants a fastball, and Isringhausen wants to go back to that cutter. 2-2. And Loretta's at least making Isringhausen work if he's going to get this out.
You know, I talked to Dave Duncan about it in spring training because I thought he kept on throwing sliders. And he said, no, it's a cutter. Got the fastball he has, and it may be a little straight, but it's, you know, it's hard to keep catch up to it. Might want consistent this time.
And a line drive into left field's a hit. Eduardo Perez plays it on a hop, and for the 2nd straight inning, the Brewers put their leadoff man on.
Red is a good hitter. He's a good fastball hitter. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Ball up over the middle of the plate. That's one of the reasons why he's gone to the cutter, is because, you know, you keep that ball away from the right-handers. There you go. EY, Eric Young, is going to pinch run. He's off to a real slow start.
But he's definitely a threat to run. And the Brewers are in a bunting situation with Belliard, who goes down and talks to the third base coach. See how the Brewers want to play it. Isringhausen gave up a leadoff double in the 10th and got around it. Now we'll try to get around a leadoff single.
Joe, a few years back, you had a lot of these relievers come in, and very few of them come in with men on base. And Jason is kind of in that mode too, because they're so easy to steal off of. Lee Smith, Todd Worrell, guys like that throw hard, but they have high leg kicks and easy to steal off.
Not easy to bunt. Although Harris got down a beauty last inning. Cardinals put their leadoff man on in the bottom of the 10th and could not do anything with it. See what the Brewers can do in the top of the 11th. Ball 1.
Throw it up there, and hopefully you can get him to try and bunt that ball. Belliard didn't offer at it, but that one will produce a lot of pop-ups.
One ball, no strikes. Runner goes. Throw by Matheny. Young is out for the first down of the inning.
Mike Matheny's worth his weight in gold. He had a good jump, and Mike Matheny is the equalizer. So quick with his release and so accurate, and the snap tag. There it is. And here you're talking about a good base runner. Looked like he stumbled a little bit halfway there.
Now the 1-1 to Belliard is top foul, strike 2. Boy, the Cardinals have 3 guys who can just howitzer it down to second base, and DeFelice, Matheny, and Marrero.
Well, many times we always sit there and say, hey, please run. 3 out of 4, and you know, the one time they're successful, he didn't have a shot, and it was a close play.
Breaking ball, and Belliard's gone, 2 out. Well, this defense, including the pitching, is doing all it can. 2 out, nobody on, and that's just not fair.
He has that good breaking ball, and you just can't look fastball and adjust to it. It's easy to say you can, but you can't look breaking ball and adjust to his fastball either. Because his breaking ball is a good one that you give up on it because it's a downer.
Now it's Jeffrey Hammonds. Hammonds has a hit and a walk tonight. 1 home run on the season. He's a threat to go deep. Over but low, ball 1. Cardinals still have a few pitchers left in their bullpen if this game continues past the 11th. 1 ball, 1 strike. They still have Steck Schulte out there. They still have Veers. They still have Matthews.
Line, I think, would try and give him a day off.
Yeah, that seems impossible sometimes.
Yep.
A 1-1 pitch. Strike 2, and the Brewers, after starting the inning with a base hit to left by Loretta, the Brewers are down to their final strike in the top of the 11th. 10:33 on the scoreboard clock. We've been at it for 3.5 hours. It'll be well worth every minute of it if the Cardinals can come from behind to win it. 1-2.
Well, he missed his location. Supposed to be a fastball away. And it was a fastball up and in. So really not that bad a pitch either way, but this is where they want to finish him off, down and away.
Hammonds held, and it's 3-2. After Hammonds, you get even more of a home run threat in Jeff Jenkins.
And Joe, you have a power arm like Jason does. You can throw that ball any place, up, down. Just don't throw it in the middle of the plate, but up, you get a lot of guys to chase.
Inning over. Matheny hung on to the foul tip, and Mike Matheny and Jason Isringhausen combined on another shutout inning. That arm of Matheny, almost as good as Izzy's. Still tied. A 5-5 game, bottom of the 11th, and this trio that started trouble for the Cardinals against the Brewers in the ninth. Kerry Robinson, Eduardo Perez, and Placido Polanco will come to the plate trying to find a way to get another run. Give Jason Isringhausen his first win as a Cardinal after last night. Jason picked up his first save. Kerry Robinson, an infield hit, and that run scored in the ninth. Over the top of that pitch, strike 1.
Staying was a little bit deceptive. He's got a breaking ball that hitters have not looked comfortable against.
That hit by Robinson to start the ninth was his first of the season. He's in the hole 0-2. The Cardinals get Stechschulte loose in their bullpen. He would work the 12th if we go there. We scared Jason out of the dugout. The 0-2. Pretty good pitch. Ball 1. Robinson moves up in the batter's box and clunks one foul down the first baseline. See that?
He might have thought he was going to get the breaking ball, and some guys will want to get it up in the box, catch it before it breaks. Other guys move back all the way as they can in the box and catch it after it breaks.
Another 1-2 pitch from Vizcaíno. Blew it right past Robinson, 1 out. And Eduardo Perez will step to the plate.
Try and get up there a little bit, and as long as you get set, you're okay, but couldn't catch up to the express.
Eduardo Perez is 0 for 2. He entered back in the 6th inning and flied to rather deep left. And then advanced the runner Robinson in the 9th inning on a hit and run when he bounced one back to the pitcher. That was against Dejan. And now with 1 out, nobody on here in the 11th, Eduardo Perez looks for his first hit of the season. Ball 1. Eduardo with home run power takes low. It's 2-0. On deck is Polanco, and then after Polanco, if somebody gets on this inning, the biggest reason why this game is did go into extra innings, Renteria, who got the 2-out game-tying RBI single. Eduardo trying to end it. Instead picks up strike 1.
Vizcaíno from the Dominican Republic, only 24 years of age. Like he has pretty good arm.
Off the end of the bat, it's 2-2.
Kind of hides the ball pretty well. Got a good fastball. He's got a couple different breaking balls, but has a pretty good idea how to keep it away from the middle of the plate.
The big bats are due up for the Brewers in the 12th. Be nice to save them for Bud Smith, tomorrow's starter. 2-2 pitch. That's well hit into left center field. Back at the track at the wall. It's over. Eduardo Perez ends it with an 11th inning home run. His first hit of the year, and the Cardinals win it 6-5.
Well, Joe, that's one of the things that Tony likes about him is he understands his role. He keeps himself in good shape, and he's got some power. He's got some power.
A long night of baseball over 3.5 hours ends with this. Hit number 1, home run number 1, and the last run of the night. It took 11. The Cardinals win it 6-5. Until Friday night, so long. Let's go to the Midwest Sports Report.